Gotta show him I can still rap though. Now I'm in the game, I was on the bench. First I was renting, now I'm collecting rent. Run it up. First it with the Beamer, now I want the Benz. Spending all the back like here I go again. Outside says the chirp, now the camera phone. Told you I'ma keep the channels on. Why you acting different when the camera's on? Why you acting different like your paper long? 8 day wake up and I thank God. Bad decision got you wishing you could say nah. My city gritty, you could get hit any day now. On my mama, I'ma move my family way out. With some 20s, 50s, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, zillions. I'm talking Amazon money, talking so much money I could mess around and buy Amazon. I been winning, I'm like, why me? I heard these labels wanna buy me. I don't need you, boo, I style me. I roll G's and they grind me. Now I'm on my game, nothing is the same. Who am I to blame? Money made me change. Cardi in my ring when I'm switching lanes. Money in the carry on them Boeing planes. Money in the carry on them Boeing planes. Now I got a buck for all those rainy days. Ain't have a day off in like 80 days. I got hustles in like 80 ways. Kids if he won't take a lazy day. Wifey on me told me take a break. I keep going to the paper straight. Then it's trips out to Montego Bay. If I take the job, bet I get it done. I said it before, I'm a 101. I just caught some ones, only wearing ones. Fornicate the funds, money made me calm. Diamonds on your neck, bet they on your neck. You want that watch, you better rock it tech. You want that chain, you better cop a vest. You want the check, but can you make it stretch? Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck, country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up. Only buying car to get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault. I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Smoke in the air, pure gasoline. I see the news, see what you read. Change gotta come, put that on me and watch me educate. Yeah, we been could've started, but it's never late. Do it for my kids, yeah, let's set it straight. Do it for your kids, gotta set it straight. It's time to regulate. We need change now. We need solar, we need EV in the game now. Make it changes so the earth we know can stay around. Make it changes cause we had no time for playing around. Let's quit the playing around. First rule to me, let's keep it clean. Watch how we build, clean air we need. Start from the flow, sweep up the scene. We going green, work as a team. First rule to me, let's keep it clean. Watch how we build, clean air we need. Start from the flow, sweep up the scene. We going green, we going green.
Yeah, with my beanie over my eye.
You do the low riders.
Yo, guys.
Hey man, that's a good song.
Guys, you might want to say what's up to the chat because we are live right now. What is up, people? What is going on, chat? It is good to see you guys in here. We are live. It is the next podcast, and it's gonna be a good show tonight. It's gonna be a good show.
Lord.
I
feel
decided
sorry for you people.
I decided we might have to go ahead and grade the Xbox for 2022 tonight. Not only that, 20-year anniversary of Xbox Live, which some people not affiliated with Xbox or anything, but kind of like third party, went ahead and kind of like brought Xbox Live 1.0 back to the OG Xbox. So basically, they mimicked it, and it's live right now on the original Xbox. there's a lot of stuff to talk about. There is a lot of stuff.
Wait a minute, you can play original Xbox games now?
On the OG Xbox, you can play online again.
Yeah, let me pull my shit out.
I do believe there might be some. Hold on. Warning.
That's the true sign of a dinosaur.
Warning. Warning on
I'm
that
talking
one.
about my OG Xbox, man. Shut up.
I believe you might have to do something.
He's pulling his cock out.
I was waiting on that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
As you can see, guys, everybody in the chat, we are already in like mid-show form right now, and I have to do this because we have so many people tonight. It is going to be an awesome show, but I got to let you know who's actually here. All right, and I'm going to start with guys. He was one of the first people. I'm not going to say he was the first person. He was one of the first people. He tried to come in and he tried to talk smack to me because I didn't respond to his text message, man. He is the OG gamer himself who is on a 2-week vacation from work, and he decides to come hang out with us. Yo, Sir X-Man, what is up, bro?
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what was I thinking. But yeah, if what Xbox is saying is true, oh man, happy days are here again. That's it. I'm good.
But bro,
Yeah,
you
just
play
like you Xbox dudes.
you play on the
Always
Series
wanting to play
X.
old
You
games.
play on your PC. They all have multiplayer. Like, why are you so excited about that, man?
Dude, you know how many great games are on the OG Xbox that were online, dude? Come on, I'll be able to play Midnight Club Dub LA again. Midnight Club Dub 3 again, dude. Is you nuts?
I prefer LA, but okay, I see what you're saying. All right, man. All right.
Dub is the shit.
All right, brother. But let me get into these rest of these intros, man. I got to get through this whole panel here. So next on the list, this man, you know, he never fails to surprise me. I had no idea he was thinking about coming on, but I think when he saw that we are grading Xbox for this year, he decided to come in and TTS. Yes, that's right. Talk that shit. It is the Angry Otter himself, Dark Optimus. What is up, bro?
What's up, man? Happy to be here, man. Yeah, I don't normally announce it when I'm gonna come on. I should, but I don't. I do that with K Mega too. Like, I'll go on his podcast and be like, "Who the fuck let you in here?" And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I have no idea. I just jump in whenever, you know. Don't leave me a key to your door, all right? I'll just come in your house. I don't know.
You lovely bastard. Okay.
Brother, you gotta
Just
know it's all
staring through the
good.
windows.
You gotta know it's all good because between me and K Mega, we have never kicked your ass out yet.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm grateful for that.
Nice, man. But it's good to have you on. It's gonna be interesting to hear your grading when it comes to Xbox and the other topics.
Sure,
but
man.
I have a feeling that that's going to be the main event here. So,
oh hi, thanks for checking in.
It's gonna be fun, yeah.
Still a piece of garbage.
Thank you, K Mega, for that. I appreciate it.
Oh,
brother.
of course. Anytime, brother.
And his dice in the windows are dirty too. You need to clean those
Hey.
damn things.
Hey, no, man. We keep them dirty. We keep them hanging to the flow. All right.
Yeah, he's just talking about dice right now, people. That's all he's talking about is his pair of dice.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Dice, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Lord,
But, let's see. Next on the list, coming from the Lone Star State, and I gotta let him know when it comes to a certain wide receiver out there in the NFL, Dallas will not have OBJ. I'm saying it. I'm predicting it right now. But it is Predator H2O. What is up, Pred?
Maybe we'll his little wash the pass.
Oh, you don't want him? You don't want him?
I mean, not for half a season, no. I mean,
He's the champion.
Oh, everybody,
And then, like-
everybody, take pictures. You heard?
I'm just
You
saying,
hear what we say?
half a season, he's not even, I don't think he's 100% yet either. So we'd be spending all the money just to
He's
see if he's
not.
100%. So I'll wait.
Yeah.
We'll wait. But yo, what's up, everybody? I'm cutting out early tonight because I got to get some sleep. But hopefully we get some of the good topics. And Dark, you should have came last week. We were talking about your game, man.
I know, man. I went on K Mega's podcast to talk about it, but yeah, I wish I was here for that for this one. Yeah.
Well, it was funny because I just asked like this thing because people claim that God of War 2018
Mhm.
Ragnarok like greatest games ever made, and from the gameplay I saw, I just didn't understand why. But
I mean, I wouldn't go that
that
far
that was
for
last
sure,
week.
but it's a good game.
That was last
Yeah.
week though. I just want to let you know that I brought the tough question, and you weren't here to answer it. So let's see. Next on the list, let's go to my homie. I call him GG for short. Dude, he saw what we were doing tonight, and like a true extended next podcast family member. He went to the DMs. He's like, "Yo, you need somebody. You need somebody that floats on both sides, Xbox, PlayStation, when it comes to this whole grading thing." And I'm like, "Dude, come on in. You know you're welcome. Yo, Gamers Gamut is here tonight. What is up, bro?"
Hey, what's going on, brother? I'm excited to be here. I saw the topic, and I wanted to come in and sit on the panel with you guys and get your temperature read from a more Xbox centric side, and just wanted to speak on more of a neutral aspect on how I see things and the future going forward. So yeah, it's gonna be a good show. I can't wait.
Nice,
Gamers
brother.
Gamut. I don't know if you know this, but Xbot is king neutral.
I am king neutral. That is right.
Self-proclaimed, but
I rule the land of neutrality, and
Yeah, I won't do that. I wouldn't ever go that far.
I rule
But
the land of neutrality. I decide who lives in the land and who doesn't. And by the way, GG, you're in it, man. You're in it. You know it. You got a nice plot of land. Everything is cool. You got livestock going. Man, we hooked you up over here in the land of neutrality.
you did.
So-
Thank you very much.
He's really emphasizing that king part right now. I'm just saying.
Hey, just
Yeah.
chat, just so
Neutral.
you know, we're all afraid. We're all afraid to really say what we feel. It's about to kick us off at any moment.
Yeah, you basically peasants to him. That's what he. Yeah.
Yo, my mouse is messing up. I don't like this. I hope it's not running out of batteries, man. I swear. But no, GG is always
Still the ones at the
Typical
vibrator.
Xbox running out of batteries.
Oh,
I'm just joking. I don't really feel that way. I saw an opening and I took it.
I saw
Yeah,
that.
that's a
You
good
are-
opening.
You are blessed right now that my mouse isn't working properly. But let's go next on the list.
That's what she said.
We can go so many places with this.
I'm going with him next now. I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna do it. Coming live from the 405, and he is the king of the soundboard when it comes to podcasts. I'm just gonna change my voice a lot, I think, and snap a couple pictures. But he's been here from the beginning, and he is here again tonight. My brother K Mega, what is up, bro?
One
man.
shall stand, one shall fall.
Yeah.
Why throw away your life so recklessly? That's a question you should ask yourself, Megatron.
Excellent. Anyway, thank you. Superstar status. I'm finally getting recognition. I'm actually doing poses. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it. Glad I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I got to see my heart today, this week, I should say. Pretty amazing. I also got shaved down by some lovely female nurses. But
It's like the highlight.
Meat Rocket did not want to show up, so that was pretty damn. Yeah, no, that was a letdown. But anyway, and maybe because my wife was there too, so maybe that just changed. My wife wasn't there. Maybe this would have been. I know.
That's when he went back into his hidey hole, huh?
Yeah, he was like a little turtle legging. It was so embarrassing. So embarrassing.
Little scared kitten.
It was so cold in there, man. And then when she started feeling around in that area and shaving, I'm like,
shoot.
Have I gotten old like that now, man? No, but anyway. But no, good news on that front. You know what I'm saying? My fat ass is still going to be alive at least for until the end of the year. So that's good. So anyway, good to be here as usual. I beat Persona on Persona 5 Sunday, but then these jerks came to me and said, oh, but that's not the true ending.
You didn't
And I'm
open
like,
the
what are you
third
talking about?
the third semester or something like that?
No, yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? Somebody told me just to go through the mythos or whatever that shit's called. I did. I beat that damn thing. It was really cool. I posted it, and I was like, oh, I'm done. And so then it turned into a situation to where I was like, all right, I'm going to start playing some other stuff. And then my ass went crazy and said, no, I can't. So I started from a save point, and I've been playing again. But now I'm in the third semester. I'm in the palace. I'm finna get this shit done hopefully by Saturday afternoon, somewhere around there. And then I'm uninstalling this bitch, and I'll officially have it all done. So, and I'll get back to my multiplayer games. But man, it's good to be here, man. Let's go.
Nice.
I had to explain myself.
Yo, shout out to my brother Dragonheart Yobi, who has been a member for
Yobi!
almost a year on this channel. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much for the support. He says, anybody seen Cade Mega? Man's got missing since Persona dropped. Check around OC. He's suffering for gaming. Sir X-Man.
Yeah, I'm here.
Nice, man. And Yobi, you know the drill. Once he gets into that single player game, we've seen it with like Assassin's Creed and a bunch of other games. Once he gets in there, that's all he plays, bro. That's all he plays till the end. And then he resurfaces once he beats the game. Check his eyes hurt from sunlight, like it's too bright out there, shit like that. You know the drill, man.
Mega don't play no games.
Oh,
that's true. That is true. That is true. Very true.
Are you trying to say Xbox has no games because Mega has an Xbox, not a PlayStation 5?
Well, I got a PlayStation 4 still, and I got a PC. So I mean, I got both the PlayStations. Both
good to go.
Right, good to go.
Good to go.
Nice. Guys, the alarm is about to go off on the introduction of this man. This man is not afraid to share his opinion no matter what you think. He just drops bombs. Crispy Bomb. What is up, bro?
How does one man follow all of this that just happened? I really don't know.
That's all. Just
I really don't. Well, I mean, all of a sudden we're starting to see little tidbits. I'm telling you, I think the coalition's got a little something to announce very shortly. I'm just saying. I'm getting that itch. It's like
tingling?
Yeah, they're tingling.
Yeah.
They're tingling just a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, it's really because Dark's here, but I mean, come on. You know what I mean?
Makes
but, but in all seriousness, I'm interested in all of our grades for, I was actually intrigued, and I think I'm more here for that than anything else. And I think like everybody else, let's give some grades to Xbox. Might not be as good as you think from me. I'm just saying.
Okay. We'll definitely give grades to Xbox, but we won't just grade Xbox. Am I right? Not grading
I want
me.
you to use that box and say Gears of War. I want to hear how that sounds.
Maybe in the middle of the show. But
All right,
guys,
cool.
We got to get on topic here, and I'm not going to start with grading yet. We're going to let people get in. So since we're letting people get in, everybody in the chat, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button. Share the show out. Whatever social media you go to talk games, wherever there are gamers mingling, talking about what's going on in the industry, let them know that they should be here right now for the next podcast. And not only that, shout out to Six Slayer hitting up that super chat. Thank you so much for the support, brother. He says, sup. That's it. That's the super chat. Brother, I appreciate you, man. And I'm glad you put something in there for me to read out loud, because that is the deal. So thank you for the support, bro. We are going to get in a little more Phil Spencer, man, because I got to say, me personally, I'm getting tired of hearing a broken record from Xbox, Phil Spencer, anybody in the offices over there. Basically, they're all saying it to whoever will listen, that Call of Duty will remain on PlayStation. And the reason why I'm getting tired of this broken record, and I'm not sure how many people in the chat, let me know if you remember this, and also people on the panel, but PlayStation already stated that that's not their biggest deal. That's not their biggest issue. They already stated even if Xbox decides to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, they still have a major issue with this deal. All right. So me myself, because Phil Spencer came out again on another interview this week and really tried to slam it home. We're not taking Call of Duty off of PlayStation. As long as there are people that have a PlayStation and want to play Call of Duty will be there. I mean, they even said, the same way with Minecraft, which Minecraft doesn't even have a contract or anything stating like Minecraft could get pulled from any platform at any time. There is no substantial contract or obligation, but they keep Minecraft there because that makes financial sense. You know what? Let's go to Dark Optimus first on this one. Dark, I'm pretty sure, it's been all over Twitter, so I'm pretty sure you've seen, kind of like the interview, Phil Spencer and stuff. Are you feeling like me? Are you getting tired of hearing this broken record? Like, what are your thoughts here? Like, I don't even feel like this is PlayStation's biggest issue. I feel that they just don't want them owning Activision, Blizzard, and King. Like, they just don't want them owning that shit. Is their biggest issue to me. But what do you think, man? Are you tired of it?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm tired of hearing about it. It's just like, just either let the deal go through or don't. It doesn't fucking matter now at this point. Like if it does, then it does. There's nothing we can do about it. If it doesn't, then there's still nothing we can do about it. It's just like as gamers, there's nothing we can do about it. Because the things are just gonna happen. How they happen. And that's the thing. Like for anybody really to think that Sony's not really worried about Call of Duty not being on PlayStation, they are, but they're also worried about all the other games too, like Overwatch. They're worried about things from King. They're worried about which is weird as to why they would be worried about King anyways, because
they're worried that their competitor is going to get the upper hand when it comes to this deal, because this deal is spread throughout mobile, console, PC, everything. So many developers, so many games, popular IP. They're afraid that Xbox is going to get the upper hand financially.
Well, Xbox will get the upper hand. Xbox will get the upper hand because they own them at that point, right? Like, I mean, once you own something, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it, right? Like, I mean, that's what Elon Musk is doing with Twitter right now. He's doing whatever the fuck he wants to do with it. That's why a lot of people are like RIP Twitter right now, and when you own something, you have I mean, that's the thing about Xbox. They've never been, well, they were at one point, but now where they are now with under Phil Spencer's leadership, they are in a state of, hey, pitch us a game. If we like it, go make it. That's basically where they are. So they basically can do whatever they want. I mean, I don't think Xbox has turned down any of the projects that they've pitched to, that any of these companies have pitched to them. So, I mean, it's I think the whole Activision thing is just it's getting old because of the fact that we've been hearing about it for over a year.
Hold on, but
it's been a while.
In the EU Commission, maybe not in this division, but when they're coming out and saying, we're going to make sure Call of Duty stays on all platforms, like including my PlayStation and stuff like that. I mean, that is newsworthy stuff, because this is people are coming from a place that's supposed to look at everything kind of like even out. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there are some things that are absolutely worth kind of like reporting on and letting people know about when it comes to something.
There are stuff that, but I think Microsoft, I mean, especially Phil Spencer this week coming out and saying, as long as there's a PlayStation console, we'll continue to make Call of Duty for it. I don't think that's their concern. Their concern is if Call of Duty going to Game Pass, all these games going to Game Pass. That's what they're worried about. because they can't compete with Game Pass. Clearly, I mean, you can clearly see that they can't compete with it, in terms of a service.
Absolutely right, bro.
I mean, as a service, yes, they can't compete with it. With games, yeah, it's a little bit different. I mean, they do have to kind of, we'll get into that later with Xbox, but yeah, with the PlayStation, all they have is games, really. Like in terms of anything that's innovative, is their games on a certain level. It doesn't go into some of the things that Microsoft's doing with
Sir,
their
sir,
technology and
I'm
everything
feeling
like
some
that.
type of way right now. I'm feeling a little, how you say, energetic. So when you say
Hmm.
innovative when it comes to PlayStation games, can
Hmm.
you give me some examples on the innovation for when it comes to what they've been doing lately? Because besides the only console with virtual reality.
Lately, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say that they were innovating on anything lately. I'd say maybe back in the PS3, early PS4 days, they were they were really kind of innovating with their games and stuff like that. They were changing things around and making them completely different than what they were. Now it's kind of like just kind of reusing that, that strategy, just kind of reiterating it, kind of, um they're not really doing any innovation like Microsoft is
I was
on their
because
end, because I
I was
mean
just wondering, man. You
Microsoft's
said
been
the I
doing.
word. I wanted to hear exactly because from
Yeah.
what I've been seeing, I mean, they do like second party deals with games like I don't know, like
Yeah.
Sifu or something like that, which it's
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely a
Yeah.
more original kind of like look.
Which isn't theirs, so it's you can't really count it as
Yeah, so
being
that's why I
innovative.
wanted to know where they
Yeah.
were innovating on it, because all I really see from them is kind of like that third party action adventure, kind of like I to me I feel like they're doing the opposite of innovating, and they're just sticking with what they were successful with through the PS4.
Right, that's what they're doing now. Yeah, they're not really innovating on anything right now. They're kind of playing it safe, in a way where it's just like, oh, we'll put out these games, for this year and then that next year, and then that's really what they're
Okay.
doing. To get back to the Activision thing, I think I think Sony's they're scared, to be honest. I mean, let's just be completely honest with it. They're scared. They know that Activision's a juggernaut, and this is a huge win for Microsoft if they do get them. So it definitely is a scary time for the PlayStation brand. As gamers, we shouldn't worry about it, to be honest. Like we're not the ones that need to be worrying about it. It's these companies that need to be worrying about it over us. We just need to be playing the games, and that's about it.
Okay. All right, bro. Let's get to Predator on this one. Now, Pred, again, his interview again stating Call of Duty on PlayStation. You heard me, and I believe you probably read it as well when they were going through the whole Brazil thing. PlayStation was like, well, even if Call of Duty stays on PlayStation, and they still had a whole line of shit that it still wouldn't be good for the gaming industry, and it wouldn't be good for them, and they oppose it, all that good stuff, dude. First off, are you tired of hearing Xbox come out and just say the same thing over and over again? What are your thoughts about them saying this when they should already know, like, PlayStation, it's not just about that being on their platform.
I think it's one of those situations where PlayStation knows if this was them, they would definitely keep that shit off
Oh, hell yeah.
Xbox.
Hell yeah.
So it's like, so now they're like, well, we would do that to them, so they're going to do it to us. But Microsoft hasn't been playing that way with them for years now. No, they're all about. They said it multiple times. Sony is a customer. Like we have games on their system. Like even before, I think it all kind of started with the Minecraft deal. But they look at them as a customer as well. So something as big as Call of Duty, and even like some of the other games are going to sell very well too. this made by Activision, whatever, ZeniMax, all the other companies they got. So I think they would definitely want to keep some of those games on the system, especially the multiplayer things. And I love that he went into it even deeper. He's like, and no, you don't have to get Game Pass, because again, what he said before was like, I'm gonna, support. He said, I'm gonna support. Our games are gonna go. What do you say? Wherever Game Pass is at, whatever phrase he said back in the day. I think it's like a year ago. And so people kind of held on to that, like, oh, well, the only way we're gonna get this game is if it's on Game Pass. And it feels like, no, that's not what I meant when I said that. Like, it's like someone's telling you the truth, you still don't want to fucking do it.
He's lying somewhere, motherfucker.
And I'm pretty sure, and I know he's probably seen documents and stuff like that, because it seems like the only thing Sony's really focused on in those documents is Call of Duty. I know there's other stuff they're worried about too within it, but like all you hear about, it seems like is just Call of Duty. I know it's a fucking juggernaut, but I mean, like, think about how fast they would make their money back if they kept it on this Call of Duty. Call of Duty alone, over the next 10, 20 years, will make their money back, easily, and then some, easily, that they spent. So I mean, like, they're worried. I get it. I mean, but I am getting sick and tired of hearing about it. And it was funny because I was just thinking the other day, I was like, man, we really haven't heard anything about this deal yet. And then as soon as I start thinking that, the interview comes out. So, but he's trying to be transparent, but no one's listening to him. It's like, he's like, it feels kind of a straight shooter. If he sees something that might work, he might say something to mention it, but he's also come back and said, okay, I changed my mind. We're not going to do that. That makes no sense, So he's being transparent. Now, I think some fear people have is like, they think Phil always backtracks on everything, and maybe at the time he says something, it's a good idea, but like, 2 years later, like the whole VR thing.
That's exactly what I was thinking when you said that, bro.
I mean, there's been other things too, but they'll look at it and they'll be like, this isn't a good idea. Or like, this game looks great. I can't wait to play it. I've been playing it. It's good, looking good. And then they're like, oh, we're going to cancel it. Because, there's other issues involved in why they have to make those decisions. Just because he says, I'm going to do something 2 years ago, 4 years ago, doesn't mean he doesn't have the right to say, you know what, never mind. So I think people look at that with the Call of Duty thing and say, well, Phil's backtracked a couple of times before. But I think on something like this, because there's money involved, with Call of Duty and then making money, particularly, I don't think he's gonna backtrack on this. Now, some of the other games they have, yeah, they're definitely gonna get those. But like, I think Call of Duty going forward will stay on, but a lot of those other games are not going to be on PlayStation. And then of course anything they develop once they get the company and start putting games together. And also you got to look back to it. It's Starfield. I think that plays a big role in it too, because people kept hoping Starfield was going to come. People kept hoping Starfield was going to come to PlayStation. And he's like, nah, fam. Ain't coming.
It's on a case.
That was staying here. Because there's nothing written in the contract.
Is staying here. Like,
yeah, it's a new game. No one's played it. Like, why would they put that on the competition system? That's a system seller for them. But Call of Duty is played PC, Xbox. It's been played for years. I mean, shit. I think the original Xbox launched with Call of Duty, didn't it?
360 launched with Call of Duty 2.
No, OG,
Not the
OG,
Xbox.
OG,
Call
of Duty.
The regular Modern Warfare.
Right. Yeah, that was the one where you went. You came out of the amphibian and you had to go up to
No, I thought they had the original, one of the Call of Duties that was set in like World War II.
Right.
It was like
PlayStation. PlayStation had those games as well, though. PlayStation and Nintendo.
Yeah, because they're multi-plat. I mean, there's a multi-company at the time. But like, I look back at that and I'm like, they've always supported Call of Duty. I think they had marketing rights at one point in time, maybe, and then they lost it because they went with Battlefield instead.
They were big with marketing rights throughout the 360 era, and getting maps first and stuff like that.
Oh, that's what got Call of Duty jumped off, right?
Yeah, but that multiplayer and on the OG Xbox for the Call of Duty, the Call of Duty, that's what made it climb on Xbox because of how good the multiplayer was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, man. All right. Well, it's good to hear you guys' opinions. I want to get Gamers Gamut in here as well. Gamut, when it comes down to it, I know you don't play one side or the other. I believe you prefer PlayStation right now, but you definitely don't ignore your Xbox. Do you hear what I'm saying here again about another interview? Phil
Yeah,
Spencer
yeah.
feels the need that he has to say this again. And like I saw that PlayStation was just like, yeah, well, even if it's on our system, we still have a big issue with this, and we're still gonna fight it. Even if you state that, man. Are you getting tired of hearing it? And what are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I'm tired of the whole entire thing. I've been tired of it for a minute. I think it's obvious. I think people know that Call of Duty is going to remain on PlayStation. It doesn't make any economic sense to pull it off because it's such a huge chunk of the money that it earns. It doesn't even make sense to count them out. So I just think it's almost on principle. You know what I mean? They're the opposing business, and it's business. That's how I look at it. And I just wish they wouldn't have started so early, bringing everything into the public, because I'm already tired of hearing about it. I just wake me up when you have a decision, and let's move on and play some games.
Nice, yeah, brother. And speaking of playing some games, for whoever's watching the gameplay, just to let you know, Ninja Theory's Devil May Cry. I know it caught a lot of heat. I remember Ninja Theory talking shit about the original Dante. They even got a scene in the game where a white wig falls on Dante's head, and he's like, not in a million years, all that good shit. This game, when it comes down to it, people say that hack and slash is very repetitive. This game breaks all that. With the ability to have three different weapons on you with like different moves, different animations and stuff like that. This game came out on the 360, and to this day, the gameplay feels so incredibly solid, tight, and fresh. If you haven't tried it yet, I definitely suggest trying it. I know it's a stigma for some people, especially original kind of like Devil May Cry fans, but the gameplay is so solid in this, man. I'm having a blast going through it again. But let's get to Crispy. Crispy, man, you know the drill. We're talking about Phil, and talking about Call of Duty on PlayStation again. Are you getting tired of hearing this, man? And like what are your thoughts
here? Dude. This has got to be the most over talked about thing that I still see people like questioning it on social media from time to time. Like it's still like I don't freaking get it, dude. Like they're not going to take it away. There's too much revenue loss on just the microtransactions alone on PlayStation. It's illogical. So I don't know. I mean, go play some games. Like this is stuff that we shouldn't even be bothering with anymore. And we really haven't said a lot on this particular podcast, but you see so many all the time, constantly bringing this stuff up. But this particular topic is it's so regurgitated, and it continues to come up. And Microsoft continues to say the same thing. And it's like the way Phil was talking in that interview is like, we don't care about Call of Duty. Call of Duty can stay there forever. Okay, they're going to negotiate, they're going to, have their talks, but they're not going to take it off. Just like if you're saying, Elder Scrolls Online, let's take that from PlayStation. They're not going to do that. Okay? So this games as a service model. This is why Sony's doing this. This is why they purchased Bungie in general. Okay, they signed the contract saying that you have to leave us multi-plat because Bungie's done this many times over. They've had autonomy in some ways. They've gotten away from multiple different companies.
They never want to have somebody over them anymore, telling them what to do. Like when
exactly,
they were Activision, they like hated it over there, man. But they needed that Activision money is what was going on, bro.
And I mean, that's what happens. And once again, I mean, they've allowed themselves to still release, beloved franchise. I mean, to say that if they come out with some new IPs that are games as a service, under them and multiple other studios, obviously, could those be exclusive? Sure. It's just like these new IPs like Starfield and Redfall for Bethesda. But at the same time, we could question the fact of what they would do with the next Fallout or the next Elder Scrolls. There is a question there, and they Phil has said case by case basis. So, if it's logical for the shareholders and everything else to release this game on PlayStation, if they want to pay full price for it, that's fine, or attract people also with it being in Game Pass, and certain titles that have been like beloved on the PlayStation as well. Why not do it? There's no logical reason not to. And in realism, if you say like you buy this and you want games to be played everywhere, well, you have to draw the line somewhere. But at least these beloved IPs, you should just say, you know what, that's fine. And they've made money off Minecraft tenfold. So it's one of those things like, what is the purchase value and what are you going to make? And you're not locking people out of something that they really, really like. They have invested time from games before, and now they want this new title, and they just want to play on their PlayStation. Well, I don't say shame on you. I want to play on my Xbox. You know what I mean? And yeah, like sometimes you're like, oh, come on, Spider-Man or Wolverine. Like you're like, dude, like you guys can't release it over here. But that's all another whole thing. And this is where you go and say, you want to bring up certain parts of companies. That's fine. Like what we are talking about, regulatory, is about the gaming. Yes, Microsoft's a huge company, but there's also a lot of other parts of Sony. And just because they didn't do well is not Microsoft's problem. You know what I'm saying? And that's the point. And they have this little thing with the Spider-Man, on the movies only, that guess what? They have leverage with Disney. So that's what happened there. And you know what? I cannot like it, but that's just what happens.
They actually, with
All right?
Spider-Man, they just signed a new agreement, Tom Holland, Marvel, and Sony, for, I believe, 3 new Spider-Man movies and 2 guest appearances in the MCU as well. So that deal is still going. They're, that's their leverage. They're still going.
And you don't think, and nobody doesn't think that there's like some like you're gonna get certain like aspects of the Fox deal that Disney had, because some of these IPs are just chilling there, and they could be made a game like Wolverine. Okay, and Insomniac has proven that they're pretty damn good at making a superhero game. Now there are others that are very good at it as well. But at the same time, some of them are in flux. Actually, most of them now, WB, Square's Western Division. Like these are things that like it's like, like Embracer just bought them. So what's going to happen there? These are all questions that they have. Sony has established themselves, and this is where you go and say like, why do we need to continue to hear about this? It's because Phil does pay attention, and he probably still sees people saying, oh, you're just going to leave this here because they're late to the party or they don't pay attention. And he's just got to reiterate it at this point, because there's always that person that just like gets into it like late or something, or watches one podcast that pops up on YouTube this one time. And they're like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And then all of a sudden, that person decides to say that, oh, well, what if Call of Duty never comes to PlayStation? And they saw this, this happened 6 months ago, but that was the questions then. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, dude, like how many times they got to say it? So that person says that, in a thread that Phil's on, Phil might read it. I mean, he's that type of guy. You don't see Sony guys doing this. You see Xbox. You don't see Nintendo. Just because they're vocal, like what? You got to like analyze every little thing. Like, dude, he's already told you. It's on there. Okay. It's going to stay. It's just whether, how much parity and all these things that I think really that's what Sony's worried about. The Game Pass aspect, parity on which console, because you could say what you want, but if you put one against the other, one's just more powerful. You know what I mean? And we've seen these parity clauses that have been called out by, I believe it was Brazil. That in a few of that fine print there, if you actually read through the whole thing, I believe somebody pointed out to me that, there's parity involved. And, like some of these console or third-party games that, market with Sony, they actually run better on the PlayStation, and that's because there's actually probably fine print in there. You haven't seen the documents yet, but it seems that way. So I think that's what they're worried about, and I think there could be some kind of concession about this. You know what I mean? There could be. You never know. But I think Xbox has a line, and I think right now they're showing hey, if you want us to sign something saying that we will release, and that is all we will always release as long as we make Call of Duty on there, I think they're fully ready to do that. But I think it's all the other things that are in question right now.
Nice, brother. And oh, that's the wrong type of buzzer. Nah, I'm actually I'm agreeing with a lot of stuff you said, bro. I also I'm listening for maybe a specific reason as everybody is talking about this. I haven't heard it yet, so let's go to K Mega on this one. Mega, you know the question. I'm talking about Phil Spencer and constantly having to say the same things, man. I'm getting, it's broken record. I'm getting tired of hearing it, especially since I know that, PlayStation is using the whole Call of Duty thing. They figure that's their foot in the door to stop this entire situation. So it's not necessarily about them keeping Call of Duty on the platform. It's a lot more to it. They just don't want this deal to go through for Xbox. My opinion on that, man. What are your thoughts? And are you getting tired of hearing it, bro?
No, personally, I'm not. Because from the reason why I don't I don't pay attention like other people do. I don't listen to podcasts on a normal basis like I used to. So when I hear something about it, it's usually fresh. But they already gave us the projection of how long this was going to be. Everybody said that it would be quicker. Obviously, it's not. It could still be within the end of the year to maybe January, February, but they said spring, of next year. So it looks like it might go that far. The bottom line is that there's two reasons behind it from my perspective. Sony does not want to pay their competitor to keep a game on their platform and then also lose all of PlayStation's perks while having that game, because Xbox and Microsoft will not allow PlayStation to do the shit that they've been doing, as though what Activision has done. That's going to cease. And so with those two things right there, that's why Call of Duty is the Central Park. And also, see, and this is another thing too that I don't think a lot of people are grasping, because I've seen something today earlier where there was some I've seen some PlayStation stands kind of go try to make fun of it because they was talking about the mobile aspect of it, and then I believe Microsoft or Phil talked about how it is going to be big for gaming because mobile is the future. And so they were making fun of they're trying to, and here goes, they're trying to say that Microsoft is going into mobile. That should scare Sony more than anything, because of the Call of Duty thing is big, but then you also hit Sony in another spot as well, because some of the biggest games, their biggest titles are mobile games. And now you got this, your competitor is going to make money hands over fist. And then on top of that, you got to pay your competitor that's already making money out the wazoo. And if Microsoft would ever, if it got to a point to where they're like, oh, you know what, if you want these extra perks, which I don't think that they would say that now, not while Phil is in charge, maybe someone else, they're like, oh, well, you're gonna have to pay that extra for it. What did you give Activision before? And they'll know if Sony's lying or not. And then they'll say, oh, we'll up that 2 or 3 times. And then you can get what you want. You can still get those perks. Then at that point, Sony's going to be like, no, I'm not doing that. And then Microsoft still gets what they want. Okay, well, you won't get caught. That's another way that they can breach their contract without even worrying about it, because they can charge Sony whatever that they want to, within reason without getting in trouble. And if Sony wants to try to undercut or try to make any that there's so many things within that with the Call of Duty and with the mobile aspect of it, is that that's why they know that if this deal goes through, Microsoft is going to have a shit ton of extra money for Xbox, like more than what Xbox has ever generated for from the gaming division ever.
Just
like, I mean,
just the
this shit
mobile
will.
side of ABK, when you're getting King, you're getting a game that just fucking prints money year over year when it comes to Candy Crush to this day.
Right. And then you look at that and you say, well, damn, you'll see that, you know, Xbox has kind of jumped ahead of Windows a few times, but then, you know, it's fallen back down. They will definitely supplant Windows at that point. With the Activision, that's why they know how big this is. And then on top of that, like you said, with the Game Pass aspect of it, you can have as many perks as you want to. If you don't have Call of Duty jumping onto your service, and the competition does, people are going to start looking at those Series S's and maybe investing into a PC or whatever the case may be. If they don't want to, if they don't want a console, they can always get a PC or laptop or something like that in order to sit there and play COD on on something beyond an Xbox. And Xbox doesn't care. So Sony knows exactly what's going on. But I think, me personally, one biggest reason behind it is because of the fact that Sony, instead of them paying Activision, they got to pay Microsoft. And that money goes into the Xbox division, which means there's more competition for Sony to have to deal with.
So even if Sony,
and that's also more games that Sony has to try to out finesse or outspend on games stopping from coming to Game Pass. Because I mean, just think about this: the Call of Duty money that they get from Sony could all be just money that they can add on to what they want to make with their budget for games they want to add to Game Pass.
I love what you're saying about like money going to Microsoft, even though the game's being bought, microtransactions, stuff like that on the PlayStation platform. Basically, what you're telling me is, even with the whole Call of Duty thing, if Sony wins, Xbox and Microsoft still win as well, is what
they're still winning, right? Like, if you like, that's the thing with the whole, that's why I think at first they're kind of like, you know what, that's bullshit. We paying for this service. We don't want no concessions. Now, of course, they wouldn't want to have any concessions. And to me, it's ridiculous to have concessions. If you're spending that type of money, there shouldn't be any concessions whatsoever. Especially of how competition has done things throughout gaming history. Hey man, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Why would you want to? I mean, I understand that Sony is a pillar of in the gaming space, but just like anything in the gaming space or in business, listen. You either get trampled on by the new company, or you fight and you try to secure it. Nobody was looking for trying to save Microsoft or Xbox when Xbox was at its lowest point last gen. No one,
except for Phil. Phil.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm talking about people that didn't work within Microsoft. I'm talking about the EU Commission, all these. Nobody didn't give a shit. Nobody. So, you know what I'm saying? So the thing for me is just kind of like, I get it, but look, are they going to have the same type of reaction with Nintendo if Nintendo gets into a situation where they're threatened, which they were at one particular time by Sony? Nobody didn't try to stop that. So I look at it as ridiculous overall, but that's, to me, is the main key, is that the money that Microsoft is going to get from Sony. This is kind of like the Disney situation. Like, people, Sony has to produce a good product. Don't get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. Now, again, yes, Sony has leverage because of the movie rights, but Disney knows very well if Sony games doesn't produce sales, then they'll tell Sony, you're going to have to make these games multi-plat. And if Sony denies it, then that's, okay. All right, well, we'll just just think about ending our contract. And then again, then Sony will say, oh, well, we'll take away the movies. We'll sit there and do that. You know how many Disney properties are out there now for all the shit that they've bought? You know, and then of course people, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it would, so then you got another standstill, and the movie people ain't gonna understand why Sony's acting. Because remember, there were people that were more upset with Sony because the way Sony was playing the deal than they were mad at Marvel. So, you know, or Disney. So regardless of how the whole situation lies, I mean, Sony is paying so much money to make sure that Spider-Man stays there as long as Spider-Man is doing well. And then all the properties that Sony will get through them, they'll work with them, right? But that's dealing with an entity that's not in the gaming space like that. Disney needs Sony. They need publishers. They need studios to help make their games so they can make more money. Microsoft, it's all pumping right back into the engine. The Activision deal that gets done. That's more. That's to me, that's more than enough, but I know that they're not going to stop to add to their portfolio. And that's just more money pumping in, more subscribers that they'll be getting. And on top of that, you're getting your competitor to pay you, you know, a king's ransom to keep a property on there. So of course, yeah, go ahead, pay me. We'll keep it on PlayStation. We're going to add it to Nintendo too. We'll put that shit through the cloud. We'll be glad to go ahead and get everybody's money. This is just going to the Game Pass budget. So, and that's what, and Sony knows that. Sony knows it's not like Microsoft is not hemorrhaging money as a company as Sony has as a company, and that overall can hurt on other aspects of it. Because my last point is when you guys were talking about innovation, you're right. Sony's innovation is their willingness to go and keep games off of other platforms, and other studios or publishers like Square Enix and others are the ones that's making these games make PlayStation look like they're innovating, because you got the Final Fantasies and all these other titles, of course, like Sifu. Sifu is not owned by Sony.
No.
But people will announce it because they gave the exclusive rights to that. If Sony is not generating enough money, or you know, putting that money in, Microsoft is not going to, you know, be nice about it, or I should say Xbox is not going to be lenient with them about how much you got to pay, and then what you can do and what you can't do. And let's say some sales drops, their numbers drop a little bit on those sales for Call of Duty. How's that going to play out?
And check this out.
So I don't know, man.
With you talking about Sony paying, you know, to keep games like off of other platforms, you know, that actually directly goes to Albert G. Our buddy Albert G is in the chat, and he's talking about, well, you know, and I'm gonna paraphrase, you know what I'm saying? But you know, if PlayStation and Nintendo have been surviving for years, you know, putting out, you know, content, why can't Microsoft do the same thing? Now, here's the deal: just like K Mega said, they're not just putting out new IP, and you gotta remember, new games were delayed this year into next year when it comes to Xbox, and I'm gonna get more into that when we talk about the grading and stuff. But
we'll forget all that. Forget all.
Been paying to keep games off of Xbox as well. How is that any different than buying the publisher?
Well, but let's ask. You're right, but let's ask him in the panel and everybody else. What was the last PlayStation game, new IP, out there that really generated the cash? I mean, Returnal, it's a cult classic, but did it push? What else?
Are you talking strictly PS5, or are we reaching back into the PS4?
No, I'm talking strictly PlayStation games, brand new IPs. Except for let's see, Ghost of Tsushima. That's a new IP.
Yeah,
that hit.
You know, would probably be the best example you could give. That probably made the most money out of all the new stuff.
Stray.
It's Stray.
It was in the subservice, so.
But is Stray first party?
No.
That's
okay. I'm talking about. See, this is why I'm saying Sony has been getting off so long by doing this Like everybody thinks that Yakuza, because Yakuza was exclusive to PlayStation, people thought that was their game. Like I thought Tekken was their game back in the PlayStation 1 era.
Yeah, right?
They paid their way to keep their shit on there. Like, I mean, come on now.
Yeah, that's
like,
no secret. That's no secret.
Yeah,
PlayStation's been doing that forever. They're the kings of doing that. That's how they built their business.
Exactly. So there's nothing wrong with that. So how can anybody come and try to say in the chat that Xbox needs to innovate and do this when Sony, their ways of innovating is they didn't build the Last of Us studio. I forget what Naughty Dog. They didn't build Naughty Dog from scratch. They bought that bitch.
That is true.
They didn't. They
built it up. They built it up, but no, they did not build it.
The base talent was already there, and they bought it.
Right, that's no different than play. That's like Playground Games. They built it up, but they had to still purchase them.
Yep,
so it's the same thing. Right. Like that's what I'm saying. The reality behind this is that you can't come talk about what Xbox needs to be doing when they're following the same pattern as what their competition is doing, and you should be proud of that. Because if you allow Sony to do what they've been doing since the very beginning, then why the hell would you not be? And this is the thing. This is also a really big difference, especially starting with 2018. Xbox is starting to buy the shit out of studios to help grow these studios to be homegrown. I mean, not to be homegrown, but to help advance them. Sony is just nickel and diming them just enough so they can have their IPs on their console to make it look like that they're still innovating, while giving their first party studios enough time to make games to get critically acclaimed. This is not a secret.
Yeah, it's a it's like a full package deal. You know what I mean? They got all this shit. They got the remakes. They got the brand new IPs. They got the little stuff. You have to look at it as like a big picture. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not a secret. Standard operating procedure. They just go about it differently. They tend to try to build a relationship, and then they purchase it. That's just kind of how it's worked out.
And Xbox tried to do it a different way last gen, and none of it worked because none of it worked. I mean, they had Rise, they had Quantum Break, wonderful games, but Sunset Overdrive, wonderful games, but again, they had some kind of issue. Then you get to the Scalebound, you get to the Crackdown 3, you get to Recore, and all those came,
really did.
A second party route just let them down, and I was so happy when Phil and them was like, you know what, we need to cut out the middleman, and we're just gonna buy shit. That way we have full control. Nobody ain't gonna bounce out on us because we could have already had Killer Instinct 2 already out in this bitch. We buying. And so now people are like, well, Microsoft, no, fuck that. Come on now. You go and look at what Sony IP's first party games were when they first got into the game. And then you come and you tell us that same silly ass notion that you've been posting here in this chat. Because Sony has been buying and they're acquiring studio. Hell, they just did it this year. So I guess Bungie is theirs. So I guess Bungie is Sony got them and built them on up.
Oh,
come on
now,
stop this.
That?
Anyway,
now all of a sudden Destiny 2 is a PlayStation game, and any acclaim that they get for anything that they've done over the years, like
that's fine.
Boys are now that's theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's just that fanboy nonsense. You know what I mean? All that means is PlayStation gets the tip of that money. You know what I mean? But it's if everybody gets to play it, everybody gets to play it. That's just that simple.
Nice.
Well, I mean, it's fine. I mean, if PlayStation,
and I think a game like Destiny needs that.
I think Bungie was
it makes sense.
Really smart in laying out in the contract. We are still independent. We make our decisions, and our games will always be multi-platform. That was brilliant right there. To get the money for the acquisition and to still have your freedom like that, that's amazing.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, that's a good move. Well, I think they were scarred over their Activision kind of. They didn't like it very much.
Well, no, I mean, and it made sense for Sony because they need people to kind of show them the way when it comes to games as a service, because they invested so much in single player. They got that third person action adventure game. They got that down pat. They got that blueprint down. memorize stuff like that. But with getting the talent for those type of
But
games,
learning where they but know where but you do know where Bungie got that from, right?
what the service kind of like knowledge.
Knowing how to do a service, yeah, how to have a gaming service. No, from no Activision.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
that was from Activision. Activision knows how to do this. So that's the reason why people, would label Activision the way that they do. Well, Activision is going to belong to Xbox, and that shit's going to help Halo and everything else that's going to go forward. Because especially and for other people that want to buy shit or want to do whatever, Activision is one of the masters at it. So anyway, but I know we need to move on to another topic. I'm sorry.
Well, we got to get Sir X-Man in on this as well.
Oh, I thought I was the last one. That's why I went longer.
No,
my
it's
bad.
all good, yo. Sir X-Man, are you still awake, man? You're not hitting that moonshine, right? You're alive, kicking. You're awake.
I'm awake, fucktard.
Oh, just to let you know,
Dang.
Just to let you know, Vertigo now has PGA 2K23 as well.
I know. I was waiting on. I'm glad my boy got it. I might. It all depends on my situation.
Does not.
I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it after the
Sir
show.
X-Man just does not want to get his ass whooped by yours truly.
It ain't about me. I was one of the few people that used to kick your ass. Don't even try.
Yo, dude, seriously, the Phil Spencer thing again. He comes out again and talks about PlayStation, Call of Duty being on PlayStation again. I still haven't heard the one thing I was trying to hear. Like there's one thing.
Oh, I know what you want me to say, and I was waiting to see if anybody mentioned it, and nobody did.
I'm not sure if you know, man. So, well, you got the mic. What are your thoughts here? Are you getting tired of hearing it as well?
No, Phil Spencer needs to preach his preach until them stupid people understand that Call of Duty will still be on PlayStation because they want that money. Oh no, I haven't got to the point yet.
Okay.
I'm about to. I just wanted to explain to mostly everybody. I agree with what they said, but the one thing everybody forgot is Activision. They've been around since the beginning of the Atari. Do you know how many IPs Activision has that Phil Spencer saying, yeah, y'all can have Call of Duty. He doesn't have a problem with that. Y'all can have Overwatch. He doesn't have a problem with that. If all Sony is worried about those games that are, newer generation style games, and they forget about the older games that were awesome, like Tenshu and Rock Band and other games like that, Phil be like, you keep on talking about that. You keep on talking about that. We'll give you all that for as long as your system is alive, and around. I don't want nothing to happen to PlayStation because PlayStation still got some good shit out there. But Phil is saying, we're going to play the long game. We played the long game with Game Pass. We played the long game of getting ourselves back together and back in the conversation. There's nothing really negative coming out of Xbox right now. Everything's pretty much going in a positive direction. So Phil says, all right, the deal is done. All right. Couple of years down the line, they bring you back some of the some of the older games redone and newer form that you've been wanting from Activision for years. And I'm sorry, it'll probably be exclusive on Xbox because all you wanted was Call of Duty. You got that. You can't complain. You can't say nothing. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of IP that are available to them for their Game Pass. And even
I think it goes one level deeper. I think he's talking about the talent, if I had to guess.
And the talent goes
absolutely.
The employees themselves. Those are like gold right now.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But all those
the shortage of developers,
IPs
you're right,
that they have under their belt, like you release a Tenchu on an Xbox and it's only Xbox, and people have people that have never played Tenchu have heard about it. Even the younger people have heard about Tenchu, but never played it. You bring that back and you show some incredible gameplay, and Microsoft is only on Xbox, that opens up a whole new world. And the real hate will come if a Guitar Hero is released and it's only on Xbox. That's where the drama's going to hit hard. But nobody's thinking about that. Microsoft's playing a long game, and they're looking for it to pay off.
Okay.
And they've been doing that for a long time. That's about it. My stuff was short. I just wanted to preach that fact out that nobody ever talks about.
And I would also bring Sir X-Man as well, saying what could happen, what kind of deal that Microsoft Activision could do work with From Software with Sekiro.
They get From Software.
No,
Oh,
they're not
I
gonna
see
get
what you're
them.
saying. Work a deal just like Sony used to do.
Right, because of the fact that Activision was the publisher for Sekiro. So at that point, so would since Microsoft would be the person, like, I mean, Microsoft wouldn't keep the game exclusive if they made a sequel. But I bet you that. But I guarantee you that bitch will be on Game Pass.
It's just like From Software, Sunset Overdrive, right?
From Software owns the rights to Sekiro.
Oh, they do.
I know that, but they needed money to get that game made though.
Yeah, but if Sony ever decides to make
if they made a sequel.
If Sony, can I finish?
We thought you were.
Because he just threw me into something I thought about. No, K-Maker threw me into something I just thought about. So if Sony decides to make a Sunset Overdrive 2, you're not going to see it on Xbox. And people love that game. It's going to be on PlayStation. Yeah. And they can actually still remaster the original Sunset Overdrive for PlayStation because they have the rights to that game now.
All right. Now,
but are we going to be able to do anything about it? No, that's what you call double standard in the industry.
As long as it gets a sequel, like I would be happy with that. I'm a fan of the game. When it came down to it.
Oh, I know you played the shit out of it.
Like, I would love to see what they would do with a sequel.
So you would buy a PS5 for it?
I wouldn't buy a system for one game. That's too much money for one game. You're looking at $60-$70 for the game. Plus, like, how many hundreds of dollars for the system? I wouldn't do that. I like shout out to the Don for his ideology when it comes to buying a platform. He's like, it's got to have 3 games that I want to play, and like I believe in that wholeheartedly, man. It's got to be a 3-game clip that of games I want to play. For me to.
For me, it has to be a 5 games at least.
Listen to you.
For me,
yeah, I can see that.
Does anybody see my point where I was coming from and understand?
Nope, not at all.
No.
Well,
we don't speak old man.
First off,
I see you really love guitar. Your faith in Guitar Hero is amazing.
I love Guitar Hero.
Oh man, me and Xbox, Guitar and Rock Band, both of us got Rock Band day one.
To the general public is as popular anymore to really.
I didn't like the new Guitar Hero.
But when I talk about the Mighty Lips, y'all gonna sit there and talk bad about me. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, because Lips sucks. That's why
nobody wants to hear you sing.
Guitar Hero,
bro. You should. Shit's popping.
Lips is like the just
greatness
to Guitar Hero.
Sings. Oh yeah, no, because Just Dance is more popular than Guitar Hero.
Tekken,
why don't you just go do real karaoke?
But check this out, real quick. I want to ask the chat. Guys, interact in the chat because I see Albert G talking about he would love, he can't wait to be on podcasts to destroy these narratives and stuff like that. So, guys, hit the number 1.
I've never seen him on a podcast.
If you would like to see a next podcast episode with special guest Albert G, if you want to see that, hit number 1, and if you don't, hit number 2 in the chat. I want to see what you guys think on that, and
I'll say yes.
And I want to say nobody brought up something that I was thinking about with this whole thing. the whole reason why Microsoft, whoever it is in the office, and they're constantly saying the same things. The only reason like I can see them constantly doing this is they are trying to play to the gaming community, to the audience, and they're really trying to like make Sony look like the absolute bad guy in this situation, and they're trying to get the crowd on their side when it comes to it. That
Everybody, yeah, you're right, but everybody is already kind of
Knowing
made their
that.
decision on it. And most people look at it, Sony, like, man, either stop bitching and complaining and compete. And that's coming from even the PlayStation side. Or I don't even care about Call of Duty. Let them have it. So the narrative has been drug out so much that you already got your people that's already made the sides. And most people feel like, shit, Microsoft gave the money, just let them take it.
Hey, Mega,
Or
right
whatever.
though. They don't want to
Exactly.
get the money to
That's how I feel.
Xbox. They don't want to get the money to Xbox. I can't make it
Let
was
them
right
have
on.
it. The Call of Duty situation doesn't change much. Microsoft is
Nope.
already the bigger company with more money. Nothing's going to change there. Just,
Right.
I have faith in PlayStation to keep making new games and new IP. They're good at making
Yeah,
games. They're good at
they
what they
are.
do.
They
So
really
I'm
are.
not worried about it. Like, for real, Xbox, in my opinion, can have it, dude. I literally am over it. Not much is going to change other than a big bag of IP. But I think the big thing is the talent. I think that's one of the most important things being
And a bunch of
exchanged here.
cash
Absolutely.
in somebody's pocket.
Absolutely.
Yep.
the chat is getting really interesting with that question. Yo, Leo Valdez says, "Yeah, but if that doesn't happen, he's down to jump in." So Leo wants to jump in here as well. I will say, yo, shout out to the community because I've gotten so many DMs, people wanting to join in on the show. I gotta go through them all and everything, but yo, the support and the interest in coming on here.
Or you could set up a Royal Rumble, bro.
Also,
Set up a chat room Royal
Right?
Rumble.
Oh,
you know what?
Lord.
You know what's funny about all this, bot? When these guys say, "Oh, I want to get in on these podcasts and talk on here," once they get on, they're always like timid little mice. They're always like, "Oh, I don't
Yeah, they
Man,
are.
I wish you were like
Yo,
that
I'm gonna
again. I swear.
I was never like that.
Dark.
When I first went on to Next, I was not like that at all.
I am gonna say that was a personal shot at Albert right there. Is what you're doing right now.
Hey, I have respect for Albert, but we got to see once he gets on a podcast if he's got the chops.
Yo, it's great to see you guys. Keep it up.
Dude, I still don't have the chops.
Keep it up in the chat. Absolutely love to see it. But guys, let's get to the main topic before it gets too late and we get towards the end, only like a couple minutes left. And I'm like, we got one more topic. Let's cover the big one, the main event, and then we'll see what happens after that because it is that time. I know it's like mid-November. We got December. We had to go through December, but there's really nothing coming out on the Xbox side. There are games going into Game Pass, yes, but there's nothing really coming out when it comes to Xbox first party stuff like that. So I figured now would be a really good time. I think we're kind of getting a little bit of a head start, a little bit of a jump on getting a chance to grade Xbox for 2022. And I am going to start with my grade, and then I'm going to go throughout the panel. Hopefully I can create a good base here, and I want to see where the extremes go off when it comes to the panel members. This is going to be fun. But so far, I believe in 2022. If I had to give a letter rating, so we're going A, B, C, D, and absolute failure.
Okay.
I am going with a C. All right, and the reason why I'm going with a C is because I do realize that delays happen. If you look at what happened with this platform, all right, not only were 2 first-party games delayed into next year, but we have this little issue going on in Europe that caused some really interesting games that were supposed to go into Game Pass day and date to be delayed into next year as well. So, I'm talking like Atomic Heart, I'm talking Stalker 2, I'm talking Redfall, I'm talking Starfield. If all those games drop this year, I would love to see what Twitter would look like now with all those games dropping. With that being said, though, I think that Xbox did a really good job of not blowing the bank, which everybody says, well, they're part of $1 trillion company. They can spend as much money as they want and such. But you still got to remember, Microsoft became $1 trillion company by making wise business decisions and not just blowing the bank anytime diversity hit. You see what I'm saying? So, but with that, I think they got a lot of like high quality games in Game Pass. I think they promoted a lot of the smaller titles. You look at a game like Tunic, I thought it was absolutely great game. Again, it's a smaller size type game, but it really has like that reminiscent to like it's really reminiscent to like the old school Zelda days. Like my favorite Zelda was A Link to the Past. That's my absolute favorite Zelda, and you can see kind of like that DNA in Tunic. But they did a really good job of promoting what games that they could, putting good games into Game Pass, and really keeping the customer engaged. Again, it wasn't first party. It wasn't first party, but to see them still growing, even though their first party offerings for this year got delayed and two of their biggest kind of like deals to go into Game Pass also got delayed into next year, and you still see them growing in popularity and grabbing mind share. Yeah, they are passing this year for me. Next year, I'm looking for an A from them. It's like my kid. Like, yeah, okay, C is good. I appreciate the effort, but I know you can do better. So going into next year, you're going into you graduate, you're going into next year. I want to see a lot more improvement, and that would be, I think that is absolutely coming with like the list of games that we're seeing coming out in 2023. So I'm gonna give it a C. Their passing, it could have been glorious this year, absolutely glorious. But with what they did with Game Pass and stuff, I think they did enough to keep the Xbox gamer happy, entertained, and gaming. And not only that, but they also got new Xbox gamers this year as well, even with what happened with them in terms of their first party offerings and such. So let me go to Pred because I want to make sure he gets in on this before he has to go. He has to go Betty by nap time. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Pred, you got to rate Xbox 2022 for me. Are you going to agree with a lot of what I said? Or are you going to go in a completely different direction, bro?
Actually, I do agree with you. I was thinking about a C as well. We only had one major first party game this year. I believe it was Halo. I can't think of anything else. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I give them credit for.
Halo was last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah,
well, I'm
last year.
counting.
In November.
Well, I'm counting Game Award years.
Yeah. Stop thinking like Jeff Keighley. Stop thinking like Jeff Keighley right now. You're gonna start.
So I mean, if we're gonna go by that, then we didn't really get anything this year. Then so, we kind of got held over with some of the stuff from last year with some of the ongoing stuff with like again Halo and Forza, but it wasn't enough to keep people still tied to it. I think the only game that actually made a release was a title that was already out, and that was Grounded. So we officially made it Grounded 1.0 instead of putting it in the beta. And I didn't play the new version of it, but what they've done since it came out in game, whatever the fuck it was. But I haven't really played it. But that's the only thing I can think of that actually came out with the release, and we really can't even count Grounded because that's just been out for a couple of years now. But for them to kind of keep people entertained, I mean, hell, I think they got nominated for Publisher of the Year this year too.
That's kind of
at the
crazy.
Game Awards,
Though.
but
how did that happen, bro?
yeah,
That's marketing, I believe, though.
I mean, for a company, and this has happened several times with them, when they've had like drought years, they've still been able to maintain profits, been able to be profitable, for the most part, right? And I think it's a division. Now, I think it's because they're selling other shit too that counts towards it. But and you got Game Pass, but the big feather in their hat would just be, just being able to put shit out despite having, like you were saying, delays and stuff like that throughout the year. Because if we didn't have Game Pass and those games going in Game Pass like that, this year would have fucking sucked, And I didn't even play half of that shit, but I might have tried it out. But I mean, I think C is a good grade. I just as a publisher, I just don't think they lived up to the expectations. And I do, I do give them, a little bit of leeway because of the stuff that happened with the delays and stuff like that, but not a lot. They should have known from the last time when they had to delay and cancel games, because basically that's what it just kind of felt like when they canceled Scalebound and um, push Crackdown back, and we're just like, what the fuck are we gonna play? And that's what this year kind of felt like. I mean, luckily there was some other stuff that came out that kept people occupied that were, from other companies that made use of my Xbox. But for the most part, I think as a whole, I think a C is a good grade for them. They just have to do better going into next year. But I mean, I think the onslaught is coming, starting 2023. So get your wallets ready, But this year was kind of a wash. I think a good C is a good grade for them.
Dude, I was muted the whole time. I was trying to talk to you, and I muted myself, and I didn't realize it, bro.
We didn't want to hear you.
I didn't.
And I was and then you probably felt like I was being a dick. 'Cause I kept talking over
Well,
you.
kind of, man. But I was letting it go, man. You were sounding off, and you made a lot of sense, brother. I'm glad that we can kind of agree on that, even though the whole kind of like you kind of rolled Halo in there at the beginning. You had to kind of pull it away. I was gonna say, Pred, can you imagine like the stuff that they highlighted this year, like getting Persona and stuff like that? Can you imagine that type of stuff kind of like peppered in with Starfield dropping, with Redfall dropping, with Stalker 2 going into Game Pass, with Atomic Heart day and date in Game Pass, like all that put together, man, it would have been an insane year, bro.
Yeah, it would have, and it's kind of worrisome because they're gonna have so much shit, and like they're gonna. I have never seen them do this because they don't give a shit about launching a couple titles within a couple of weeks of each other. But when you have a bunch of stuff coming from your Game Pass people that are putting stuff in there, you got your blockbusters dropping around the same time. The only thing that worries me going forward is like they may have to start being a little more strategic how they release games and when they release them. So like obviously they could probably put out a title a month, but they may say, okay, well we've got enough for this year. Let's just roll this into the next year. Kind of like a soft, even though the game's ready. It's like a soft delay, just because they got too much shit in the way.
About that strategery, as President Bush would call it, about that being strategic and such. I hear you on that. I hear you on that, but I don't think it should be next year though. I think they really need to pay out in terms of what happened this year, and really kind of like put the games out that were delayed. We do have Forza Motorsport coming. I hear kind of like behind the scenes,
not coming until 2035.
I hear behind the scenes that kind of like Avowed and Hellblade 2 will be ready next year as well. I think you got to let them go. I think you got to let them fly, man. And really go in next year and show that it wasn't just about games delayed from 2022, but it's about those games dropping in 2023 plus what we had scheduled for 2023 as well. I think they really got to go in on that, man. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it just gives them more time if they have like if let's say they are having let's say Halo drop was supposed to drop in 2023 or 2024 and they have all this shit already piled up. They could just say, you know what, let's just like the games they have in the works right now, like Avowed, right? I'll use that as a better example. They don't have to rush that out now. They don't have to because like they don't have to rush out a game like that because they're gonna have enough shit already for the year. And now those little issues that we have with Halo, they can say, okay, let's put this back in the and let it cook a little bit longer. And I think most of the people, especially in the early part of the setup of the game, I think we'll be okay because we'll have other shit like Starfield to play. So they have the option now to say, okay, let's take a little bit more time with this because we have a good lineup already this year. Let's work on Avowed. Let's get it going. Let's get it looking good, and then we'll release it when it's ready instead of forcing it out because our impatient asses, want a game, because we're bored. We haven't played anything in a while, so we start, pushing the finger in Phil's face like when this game's gonna come out, and the answer is when it's ready. So,
well, yeah, right. But I hear you, but I think that's where I disagree with you. Like, because if Avowed is ready, I'm figuring for 2023 when these games are ready, you're dropping them that year. You're not holding one back to cook more or anything like that. Like, it was your original vision, the developer's vision. They got it to fruition. It's ready to go gold. Like, I would be like, you're dropping it this year if I was in charge. Like, 2023
Yeah, and that's fine as long as it's not broken.
is that kind of like gate opening year where the floodgates open, and you just see them all like start dropping, and that's what I think they should do. Um,
Absolutely, I agree.
nice. Well, let's you know what? Let's go to
Don't
Let's
kiss
go
his
to
ass.
GG next, man. I like what he was saying there, but again, dude, this is the event, all right, and you're coming from a very kind of like, even playing field here. So I would love to hear your grade and kind of like your reasons as to why, bro.
For me, I think this is a pretty below average year for Xbox. So I think they're flirting with that D territory, but because they have Game Pass and they offer games like a Plague Tale Requiem, you get the Ascent. That's from last year. But what was it? Midnight Fight Express, Tunic. I mean, there are some things to play. I think that brings them up to the C minus, but I think they're a little closer to flirting with that below average grade. Just they're just not. But I mean, obviously delays happen. I think they're just going to have to eat it this year. But I think if they don't make some big improvements next year, like there's going to be some tough questions start to being asked. You know what I mean? They got to show something next year, as far as I'm concerned. But
Okay.
I'll keep pulse on them, and I hope they I hope they deliver with Avowed and Redfall and Starfield. They got the features looking bright.
Okay, yeah. See, that's what I was gonna ask you, because you're giving a C minus right now, so that's basically just above D. That's kind of what the slacker in the classroom kind of pulls out of his ass at the end of the year to be able to graduate to the next grade and stuff. But you feel like the future is bright with what we're seeing, the games that were delayed this year going into next year, and then the games that are slated to drop next year with Forza Motorsport. And again, behind the scenes, I'm hearing Avowed and Hellblade 2 as well.
Yeah, I think they got they finally had delivering on some new IP, which is sorely needed. Is that new fresh IP? So they're delivering on some of that IP. They're dipping into the nostalgia bag with Fable. I'd love to even see them do something like take the flight simulator team and maybe have them remake a game like Crimson Skies, or just do breach into that nostalgia bag a little bit. But they're starting to do a little bit bigger mix of things, and kind of what I was hoping.
Nice, brother. All right. Let's go to Sir X Man. Sir X Man, I am really interested to hear your grade on Xbox for 2022. I have no idea like what end of the spectrum you might go here, man. So like 2022 Xbox, when it came to first party, unfortunately the games got delayed and whatnot. So what is your grade for Xbox for 2022, and of course why?
B minus, only because my system still works when I turn it on and I don't have any problems. That's one of them. There were some actually really great indie games within Game Pass. Um, I haven't had a chance to play them, but they look amazing. I'm trying to work on that part now. So indies are holding up Xbox pretty well. You got some games with high ratings in the indies. The first parties they're starting to come along. Um, the Hot Wheels is amazing when that came out. Halo finally got co-op towards the end of the year, and the multiplayer games from other publishers, they're rolling pretty good, and pretty much both consoles still have the same uh, publisher multi-publisher games on each system. So other than our first party that got delayed, they're still doing a good job. The console's doing good. Um, in sales and stuff like that, bringing more people into the Xbox ecosystem. So I think they're thriving good, but not having your triple A's in the year, it does affect the score big time. But a B- is pretty good for what they've been doing to survive this year's situation. That's it.
Nice, bro. And again, you didn't climb too much like away from my C as well. You went just above it, man. You got a little more positivity rolling down. I will.
That's because I'm taller than you.
I'm five
I'll
ten.
always be a little
I'm
higher
five
than
ten.
you.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
All right. Well, my son's 6'5". So can I just live vicariously through my son since my genes helped make him? And
I'm not touching that.
all right, brother. Let's let's go to Crispy on this one. Yo, Crispy, this is gonna be interesting, bro. Let me put on. Let me put my fucking mouse, man. There it goes. We got the nuke alert going on. Crispy Bomb is about to grade Xbox 2022. Go ahead, bro.
You give it a D for no gears this year.
Oh yeah, no, I could. I go C plus. It's one of those, and everybody. There is one first party. It's not something that I'm gonna write home about, but there is Pentiment. So, just saying. You do have titles like Guardians of the Galaxy in there. For the baseball fans, the show 22. You have titles that are, like, a lot of people are looking forward to High on Life.
Oh, I am so.
You know what I mean? So,
that, bro. Oh my goodness.
So I mean, there's a lot of games that are different. There's some games that were in there at the beginning and have already dropped out. It's one of those things. Like, I feel like the only reason why Xbox is doing well right now is because Steam has done well, and really major amount of those titles are just all like little indie games, really. So I don't know. I feel like the model is the reason why you're seeing them continue to do well. But being worthy of a C plus, is they gave my girlfriend A Plague's Tale. You know what I mean? I didn't have to buy that because if it wasn't in Game Pass, guess what I would have had to buy? Even her son, like, completely beat Grounded after the 1.0 update. A lot of people waited for that. Me, I just haven't had time. I mean, that's one of those games, man. You can just get lost in, and all of a sudden you're like, I didn't even do anything. I just built a bunch of stuff. And I get a little like, dude, I still haven't beat Fallout 4 because I just keep building crap. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then I got like these giant settlements, and I'm like, probably, like, because I've hit almost every quest line, like, I would say like 3/4 to 2/3 of the way through the game, and I just, every time I go and try to do the story, I'll end up having like a settlement getting attacked. And if I don't do anything, it's like 5 death claws just destroying the whole damn thing. And I'm just like, all that freaking work. So, some of those games, man, I'm just like, I don't even know. I don't even know how he even beat that, because they were building stuff. I mean, he had a group. But I mean, so everybody's had a little enjoyment in a way. And at the same time, you still have those games that, are a lot of them are multiplayer, which is great in some way, shape, or form. Even a lot of these smaller games, that you wouldn't think have multiplayer do. And there's replay value. There's not having to buy a game and being able to play with others. These are all like elements of it that continue to push them forward. And it's not like I haven't seen Sony do the same thing a year or two, through their 20 years. Yeah, I'm saying, and it's one of those things like Xbox has acknowledged and is moving towards creating more new first-party IP. Sony's already been there, done that. And now they're behind with the multiplayer aspect because they basically abandoned it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys all talked about stipulations of buying a console. You need to give me some multiplayer exclusives. And I'm not talking, you know, these multiplayer exclusives with the quotes around it. I'm talking, you know, these games that are just these AAA bangers. Like, why can't some of them have multiplayer? You know what I'm saying? Like, you score good, but, you know, how many times we've seen a Gears or a Halo gets 2 different scores, and it's like, well, do you take away from them because they don't have multiplayer? Because that's always my question. Like, you know, if there's no multiplayer, or, you know, a game launches that, you know, launched multiple times and originally started with a multiplayer and is charged full price and doesn't have the multiplayer, what are we talking about here? So, you know, to compare the two, this is the reason why Xbox is still in the game, even though they haven't had shit, and that's why they're not going to get a B from me. I mean, games that I like, not really. You know what I mean? You know, there's a few here and there, but they're just not. It's not anything that I'm like, I need to play this. Now, like, you know, I'm a Rick and Morty fan. I'm probably gonna play High on Life because, you know, I want the humor, like, more than anything. I want the humor. I mean, it's right up, you know.
Might be my favorite character from what I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it looks like people are like, oh, well, it's repetitive. I'm like, dude, I don't care about that. Like, some people play a game, like, I play a lot of games for multiplayer, but at the same time, there's 1 or 2 games here and there that I'm just like, dude, like, I need this dialogue in my life. You know what I mean? Like, and that's something that you kind of, you can say what you want, but you have a competing service on the other side that doesn't give you anything but old games, as they say, and they also don't give you day and date. You know, you don't have to sit there and purchase their best games. You just go and subscribe, and you get their best games. And you also get games that you didn't think you were going to get sometimes. Like, that didn't. Isn't there something with Battlefield? They're giving, like, skins and shit. Like, that's what Game Pass does in this way. You know what I mean? Like, they'll take free to play games and enhance it in a way. Like,
second, I think Battlefield goes into EA Play and Game Pass.
And all of those, like, if you go look at the list online for Game Pass games, all those EA Play games are in there. Like, they just treat it as the same at this point. Like, everybody says, oh, it's an EA Play. Well, as far as I see that, you know, it's going to be a long partnership with EA. Because, you know, EA's got to be making money somehow to continue to do it. So it's one of those things, like, you know, maybe Battlefield all of a sudden becomes, you know, relevant again in a way. Because, you know, I've heard many people say it's much better than it was. You know what I'm saying? Now you got all these eyes on it that just pay for the subscription. And, you know, like we've said, not really much coming out. You know, like, you got a few here and there, but it kind of hits that multiplayer, you know, game that, you know, has some kind of traction in a way, but has lost its traction and needs a little boost. So there you go. So, you know, they're making strategic deals. If we need to go through this, you know, by, I would say, if it's anywhere past March of next year, because we haven't gotten any solid dates on some of these games that we really want, then I think you're going to start hearing a lot of us be like, yo.
Crispy's going to unleash the
You know what I mean? We're going to have aneurysms, bro. Aneurysm. We're going to be like, yo, bro, where's Starfield at? Like, we need, you know, Game Awards, we should know solid dates. That's my opinion, at least for one of them.
Okay.
You know, if it's Starfield, I think that would be the most logical one, because you're going to have so many eyes on the Game Awards. But we need a solid date on something, and you got to stick to it. You're going to do it again. You got to say, I don't even care if you say, you know what, we're going until September of next year for Starfield. Okay, but at least, you know, you're saying, hey, September is the month. We'll let you know the exact date if it's got to be that. But, you know, if you're going to disappoint us, you might as well do it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, do it now before we get into next year. And then everybody's like, okay, all right, Xbox, you got us now, right? You understand what you did last year was really screwed up. So let's see something. And if we don't get, you know, something, then, within the first couple months, I think they're gonna catch it from all of us because we don't care. We will absolutely call them the frick out. You know what I mean?
I might have to stream at least some of the Game Awards this year. Not for the actual awards themselves, but for the trailers and stuff that might be popping off. Because I have a feeling we're gonna see some craziness from Xbox with the Game Awards. But Crispy, I love where you went with that, man. I will say I'm also looking at my soundboard here, and there's a button I haven't pressed yet called Possessed. So I'm just gonna let you know right now. I don't know. I haven't heard it or anything, but I want to hear it, so I'm gonna click it. Okay, got a scary background going on. Interesting.
Oh, it's skipping on purpose. Okay, I was like confused.
I can't wait to kind of mess with this software. Let's see who are we going to next. Let's go K Mega. Let's go K Mega. All right, K Mega. I'm really interested to hear what your grading is going to be. Why are you laughing, Dark?
Because I figured you'd probably say me for last. I figured you'd probably say me for last.
Maybe
That's
I'm
what
not.
I figured.
I usually try to save the best for last, so you're probably going to be second to last.
Why would I be second to last? Because everybody else went except for K Mega.
Damn it! My math.
He's not used. Let's give him a break. He's not used to having this many people on. Okay,
good.
he's not. I'll give him.
When it comes down to it, you know what? K Mega, just act like you're the last person, and I
No, man.
Well,
No, I won't do that. I won't do that.
We all know, man. Like you love the Xbox platform. I love the Xbox platform, stuff like that. So I think people are wondering where you're gonna go with your letter grade here. So what is your grade for Xbox 2022? And of course, why? You can't just give it a grade and say that's it. You gotta let us know why.
It's a C plus. It's a C plus.
Okay.
Easily. What this showed for me, what this year showed is that exclusive games are not as important as people perceive them to be. That's just a reality. You go and look on PlayStation's site, the number one selling game is a multiplat. It's not God of War. It's Call of Duty. And then people will say, well, it's a multi. No. That game sold like that game will sell more than God of War. Ragnarok. That's not an insult. That's just a fact.
I mean, it's on the platform, so.
But I'm talking about just on the PlayStation platform.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, they know. Yeah, it is just a fact. So when you look at this year, the exclusive content, the exclusive content, he must have just looked at the numbers. The exclusive content for Xbox is poor. There's no question. But that's why I just come to my point, and that's why I give it a C, because I'm still playing on my Xbox more than I'm playing on anything else. And it's not I'm playing the same old shit. I'm playing new shit. Now, again, there will be people that will tell you, well, you're playing Persona 5. That game has been 5 years old. But if I have not played that game before, or if anybody else, now I've played it before, but I've never beaten it. If other people have not experienced the game, it's new to them. Any game, it doesn't matter. It was funny to me because when people were playing before God of War Ragnarok, I was seeing a lot of PlayStation gamers post, or just gamers, I should just say, that was posting, oh man, I just got finished beating God of War, the first God of War 2018. I'm ready for Ragnarok. It was my first time, great game, blah, 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 blah. Nobody didn't give them flack. Why you didn't give them flack? That game you should have been there day one, right? You should have been there within at least the first year, right? That's not how gamers work. That's not how anything works. The whole idea about what some of these people say is so bizarre and ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like it's annoying, personally. So looking at what Xbox has done, make it a profit, having people buy the console more than any other console at this particular time.
Dude, and this Black Friday is going to be
it was
serious with the price drop.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, and then also still without any first party exclusives, still getting a nomination for Publisher of the Year. Are you kidding me?
How did that happen?
Think about
did that
that.
happen? Yeah.
Because the content that they're dropping it's been pretty good damn content. It just comes to shows like indie games, the AA games. It was the thing that I've been saying from the beginning is what made the 360 so amazing was not the fact that it had its first party exclusives. It was the fact that they had those cult classics, those AA games or at that time it wasn't called anything, they were called arcade titles that dropped on the 360. That's what made people love the 360 so much, and that's what the Xbox One. It either had a first party game or it had a third party that was going to get shamed because of it was underpowered. So
shout out to the Xbox Live Arcade.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, Pendament, right? Like most of the people on this panel will probably say, "Man, I'm not playing that shit. Or I'm not interested." But it's getting really good acclaim. I mean, I'm not saying that game is going to be anything that I'm interested that I'm going to get down on, but I will try it just because I got the option to.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, no. I want to get to understand what it's like the other game, the vampire game, that 8-bit game. I mean, people are falling in love with it. Yeah, I'm not interested. No, at all. Me and Sir X-Man, I think we're on the same wavelength. I've seen 8-bit enough through my lifetime. I don't want to see any more 8-bit games. But people love it. Am I going to try that one? I might. It's according to how big it is. And usually a game like that is usually probably a gig or maybe 2 gigs or less. So I'll give it a shot. But that's the thing I'm talking about. Like, you can't 1 minute say, "Oh my God, seafood, rain. This is what gaming's all about." And then when you look at Xbox, and then you have those titles that's dropping because Stray and Sifu ain't first party. You can't. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole part of it being ridiculous. And when people overall look at it, when they want to just choose and pick and choose when is it good? When is a good year for Xbox? What's a bad year? All I know is when they see when for Xbox, when they see the numbers is green or black, that means it's good. So, I mean, yes, first party, but we know the reasons why. And like I said, I've never had a problem with a delay. Will not have a problem with a delay. Which I kind of think that they might delay a couple of those titles going into next year because they might have so much. And if a game needs to be pushed a couple of months back, so do it. Hell with people crying, because the problem is that when people, what do you want? Another Halo Infinite? Or do you want a game that's going to be at least good enough for you to sit there and sink your teeth into and have a good experience with? And you just got to wait a couple of more months. So I'm not when I'm hearing everybody else saying, and that's y'all's opinion, but I'm like, no, if they got to delay any of these games coming out next year longer, do what you got to do. Don't come out with no bullshit, because a game that comes out and it's bad, it's bad forever. Battlefield 2042.
It's not technically bad forever now with patches and stuff like that, but I hear what you're saying.
No, bad for it still got the stigma. Exactly. Look, I mean, people now look. It still got the stigma. So that's the point to me, is that, like, when I agree with you when you were saying that expect the grade to be elevated to an A. So let's say that they just dropped only 3 first party IPs, but all of them are bangers. All of them are 90s. Are you going to be mad about that? Because
I mean,
really? Are you going to be mad about that?
I wouldn't be mad at 3 games coming out. Now, one thing with that, from we know Forza Motorsport is slated to come out next year as well.
And how much content do you think that game is going to have?
It's from how they're restructuring it.
Tons, right?
It's going to be a games as a service. Like they're just going to keep adding.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Starfield. How much content you going to get for Starfield?
Well, it's not always about how much content though. It's about
no.
If you're going to say that, you're going to let me finish. Okay. It's not about.
Okay, but you dancing though.
The amount of content,
you dance.
Like when it comes down
to
it's
not
replayability and the quality of content as well. Just because a game can ship with like a shit ton of content doesn't make the game good.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make the game good because that's a shit.
If the game is got quality, okay.
If it's glitchy as hell, the fighting sucks. Like why would I want to play?
Oh, okay, but you're making my point. So let's just say Redfall, game that you're anticipating, right? They say we're going to have to delay until fall.
Okay.
Why? Well, because we don't want our vampires to do the hammer dance going across the goddamn screen. So I mean, which is it? Is it because you need this game to be there right now because you want to have console war banter?
I'd definitely be okay with that, man. Like.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So again, but then that pushes other games back. Okay,
right,
I'm sorry.
Like when it comes down to it, if 3 games end up coming out, I'm gonna look at it as what games were delayed from this year into next year as well. If it's like the majority of them were the delayed games, there is a sense of disappointment with that, man. I'm not saying it's going to be a full blown.
Not at all. That's not at all.
I feel that
I can't be mad at delay. I get it, but I can't be mad about that. I think people get delayed because they want to have that point to say, "Oh my God, this is what we've been talking about. Stick it to the PlayStation community." Fuck that. Who cares? Because of all the other content that's going to be dropping within Game Pass and just going on for the first party, it's going to be so much content that we can't even keep up. This is a year, 2023, where you have the potential to have Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 drop in the same year. Are you fucking kidding me?
But that excites you. No. That excites you. That doesn't necessarily excite me. I don't play Tekken. I don't play Tekken.
Bro, see, you're so narrow-minded. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying other than just all the other content like Wulong and all these other games that we know that's going to be slated to come out next year. You know that there's going to be games that's going to be pushed out because there's so much content that's coming out in 2023. Third party, second party, first party. So all I'm saying on this aspect is that which one is more important to you? Having games to come out, having to come out to go, and you can get your experience, or just having it because they gave a date. Well, I did no. Hey, the Halo is Halo. Well, it was Cyberpunk. Then it was Halo Infinite.
Cyberpunk.
I know. I love Cyberpunk, but millions of people didn't.
Listen,
because it didn't work for them.
I think you're pulling extremes when it comes to me, but I'm not.
What?
Listen, can I finish?
What extremes did I play? Where was the left?
Can I finish, man?
Shit, man.
All right. I'm saying you're pulling extremes because
you ain't gonna yell at me, bro. You ain't gonna yell at me.
Well, dude, I would like to finish the thought before you come in and just try to like tear it down. The reason why I'm saying that is I said there would be some disappointment, and you're automatically taking it like I'm gonna be like disappointed with the whole year. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying with coming with this year, all right, I do understand about delays. Okay, I understand. Now they're saying that they're coming out next year. I got you. So if only 3 games come out next year, there will be a sense of disappointment, but it's not going to be. There are many different grades of disappointment. You know what I'm saying? I've raised 3 children. Like I've been disappointed with them in many different levels. Okay. And I'm not saying that I'd be disappointed, like, yo, fuck this platform or this and that or whatever. And I'm not doing it for anything console war. I am thinking about myself and what I like when it comes to gaming and what I would like to see in 2023 when it comes to Xbox. For me. That's what I'm saying. For me. All right? And there would be some sense of disappointment, but I'm not. It's not like throwing the towel, everything's done. completely disappointed. All right, because I don't know what else they're offering. Okay, yeah, you said Wulong, which really looks interesting and stuff, but we don't know the entire scope of what's coming out next year either. But when it comes to the first party, there would be some sense of disappointment from me if they only release 3 games next year, especially if there are more games ready and they try to do kind of like what Predator was saying with the strategic, and they're like, well, we got these games going, so we're gonna hold this one back a little bit. Maybe give the developers more time, even though it's pretty much done. See what extra they can get in there, just because they feel like they have the year on lock with those 3. If they do something like that, I'll be pissed. Is what I'll be. All right, and that's me.
So do you feel like they have to make up some ground in your eyes in a little bit, or maybe to say like, if next year all you see is the delayed games from the year before, are you kind of standing around here going like, well, what did you have planned for this year?
I don't know.
Is that kind of like
what you're saying? If you call it making up ground, but like I said, I understand about delays. Now they're pushed into next year, but that should not change what is slated for next year as well. You see what I'm saying? So, like, when it comes down to it, 2 major first party brand new IP were delayed until next year. Got you. So those games should definitely come out, unless there's some type of instance or something like that. But don't let that change what's planned for next year as well, is what I'm saying. And from what I'm hearing in terms of what's planned for next year, like 3 games from the first party, there's going to be some sense of disappointment from me. And I'm just calling it how it is with me. You see what I'm saying? I mean, like, Mega, I'm not like, I'm not pulling extremes and like saying I would be completely disappointed with 3 games coming out, again, because I don't know the entire scope of what's dropping in Game Pass, what kind of second party deals, what kind of third party deals with what's going into Game Pass, like day and date. I don't know any of that full scope for next year, so I can't say I'd be completely disappointed. But to say that there would be no sense of disappointment if only 3 of those games come out, I'd be lying to you, Mega, and you don't deserve that. You don't deserve me lying to you, bro. It's just is what it is. You see what I'm saying?
He's not here, dude.
Yeah, he left.
He hasn't been here. He hasn't been here for like 15 minutes in your
I guess
fucking rant.
my brother did not want to hear my rebuttal. That's amazing, yo. Shout out to K Mega, yo. K Mega, if you're listening, get your ass back in here, bro. Like, what the fuck, man? All right, well, the angry otter himself is gonna have to follow that up. Are you getting ready to leave as well, man? If shit pops off, I gotta know.
Fuck this shit out, man.
Am I gonna pull a 2018 Dark Optimus?
When you and the Don like fucking took
leave
off.
and then come back.
Yeah, you came back, which was great. But
yeah, I was like, oh shit, that's right. This is the only podcast I'm on.
Yo,
yeah, but now I got GRG, so now I can just be like, fuck you, bot.
Honesty, and I love honesty. Even if it's painful, I love honesty. But yo, dude, 2022 with Xbox, it is time for your letter grade and of course your explanation as to why.
Alrighty, you guys are gonna probably hate me for this, and I mean anything I
say. Here we go.
Me for it, right? I give it a D. For the simple fact that they didn't have any. I knew it. I knew that was coming.
Hold on, let me
it had to be from Pred, right? Thank you. I feel like I'm in a circus now. Thanks.
That was called clown. I'm just messing with you, bro. Just messing with you. Go ahead.
But yeah, I think for me personally, and I mean, you know, we can only speak for ourselves on any of this stuff. They just didn't deliver anything that I was excited for. You know, I mean, they had some third-party stuff that was like, oh, okay, that's going to Game Pass, but it wasn't enough for me to be like, holy shit, that's coming to Game Pass. You know, there wasn't enough of it. there wasn't enough of that. There was a lot of indie stuff, that I was like I had really no interest in. Like, there was things that I was just like, I don't really care about. Um, I mean, it was cool that they gave you guys Plague Tale Requiem. They gave you, um, um, what was the other big third party? There was MLB The Show. I think there was one more that was
Guardians of the
pretty big.
Galaxy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Guardians
was
of the
early in
Galaxy,
the
which I
year.
played last year.
No, that was early in the year.
That
This
was
year.
that. Yeah, I played that. Well, I played it last year, when it
Uh-huh.
came out, like a normal human being. Um, I just I personally feel like
Ruth
Xbox
gave
is
it a D.
I feel like Xbox has not, delivered enough for me to be like, yeah, I'll play on Xbox. This will be my main platform going forward. They just haven't done it. Jesus. It's funny how he's all like, let me finish, right? But then he won't let me
didn't say
finish, right?
anything.
Like,
I said nothing.
like what the fuck? You don't have to say anything. You're interrupting me. You're interrupting me during this
Yo,
fucking
it's not
thing.
my fault that there are protesters outside of the window right now.
Do you
because
want
what you're saying?
Do you want me to leave like
No.
K Mega?
No.
Do you want me to leave?
Doctor, you need a baby wipe.
Yeah, I might, after this podcast. I just personally feel like Xbox just hasn't delivered. For me personally, I mean, I understand that there's different types of gamers out there that love multiplayer. They love indies. Great for you, but that's not me. I play
Weird games.
single
Play weird
player.
games.
Single player games mostly. There are some exceptions like like Overwatch 2 I really got into this year. There was I picked up the new Call of Duty even though I said I wasn't going to, and I probably shouldn't have, but I still did it because it just
Money to
had
burn.
You
FOMO
notice
or
how he's
whatever.
not saying what system, right?
Well, I mean, I bought them for PlayStation. I mean that's kind of a given, right? I mean, you should know that by now.
I just need
The
to
reason.
double check. You were playing incognito on that one.
I just feel that it's Xbox. I mean, I know you guys are talking about how the future, of Xbox is looking great, things like that. I lean towards the now. Like what are they giving to me now? Nothing. So at this moment, Xbox isn't doing it. Isn't doing what they're supposed to be
You
doing.
say you,
In the future they might, but I'm not saying right now. Right now they're not doing what I want them to do, which is give me good quality games that I want to play, and they're not doing it. I know people are like Starfield. What about Starfield? What about Redfall? What about Avowed? Well, the only one out of those that I would actually consider
Redfall.
playing would probably be Redfall,
Yes!
right?
Dark. Every
That's
time
the only one that I would
Dark,
actually
every
consider
time I
that one.
feel we are like complete opposite ends of the spectrum
Opposite.
when it comes to gaming, you say something that just makes me want to pull you through the screen and hug you. Like, damn, that is right
You
there.
are.
It's so
He's
right.
East Coast. You're East Coast. He's West Coast. You are on the
Yeah,
opposite
we are
ends
for
of the
real.
spectrum.
We are.
It is. This is very true. And I think I'm not saying that Xbox isn't gonna be, in a good spot next year, because that's a very possible thing. But if we're talking games wise this year, we're giving a grade this year, they did not deliver for me, right? And I think, Game Pass is there. I get it. People, are touting how great Game Pass is. I get it. But Game Pass has done nothing for me that I want. So therefore, you get the D for that.
You get the D. That's.
You get the D for it.
Good boy.
Going home with the ugly one.
And it's crazy because next year Xbox might deliver on things, yes, but are they going to deliver enough for me to be like, okay, yeah, I'll pick up my controller again on my
Dark
Xbox?
cannot wait for Forza
Who knows?
Motorsport, is what it is, man. Once that releases,
Yeah, 2035 is
you're
when
an
that comes out.
asshole.
You ain't getting that next year.
Don't you start that
Um,
shit like
when-
fucking
when-
Predator, dude.
when-
Don't
when-
start
when-
that fucking shit.
That's, I mean, the game will come out next year probably, but it won't be finished until 2035. Like Halo, and I wasn't disappointed with Halo at all, because I thought the single player campaign was really good. I was disappointed in the multiplayer. I felt like the multiplayer was just, it was good for a little while, and then it was just like, okay, it
You
got old.
don't play
you know?
multiplayer.
I did play the Halo multiplayer for a little while with some of you guys, and with Bot, actually I think we played a couple times,
When did
and
Bob play Halo?
I don't know, dude. It was it was how long ago? That was last year. Like we only live, we only remember certain things, throughout the year if it really appeals
I
to
went
us.
through a couple season passes,
Um,
by the way, Sir X-Man. Okay.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
you did.
I
I'm
was
pretty sure
there
you
with
did.
you, buddy. I was with you there,
All
buddy.
right.
Um,
We had some good.
and that's the thing. Like, PlayStation has done that. They've given me stuff that I actually want to play. They have done, a good job. I still wouldn't give them a really high grade because I think there's a lot of things they can move on. I would, if I was to rate Sony right now, I would probably give them, probably C plus, somewhere around
Wow.
there.
You
Like
are a
they
hard critic, bro.
they did good,
You are a
but
hard critic.
they did good, but they didn't give us enough. Like I felt like one or two really good exclusives, like Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok, really was the exclusives that they gave us that were actually really really good. I mean, Sifu was good, but it's an indie, right? Like Stray was good, but it's an indie. Like like I'm not looking for a whole year of just playing indies. I'm looking for a whole year of getting a variety of stuff. And both companies I don't feel like did that at all. So I think we're gonna go into next year hopefully getting that. We're gonna get a variety of AAA. We're gonna get a variety of indies, and we're gonna get a variety of third party stuff that's really gonna flesh out these
All right, Dark.
consoles. And I really do hope that all these games do come out for the Xbox, but who knows?
Dark. Now this is a hot topic now because of the whole Xbox. Proverbially, Xbox only comes out with 3 first party art IP next year. Would that be a disappointment in any sense to you, bro?
Yeah, because I think didn't PlayStation do that this year? That was a disappointment for
GT7,
me.
Horizon Forbidden West, and
GC7, Horizon
Ragnarok.
Forbidden West, and God of War Ragnarok, right? That's what they did this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of a disappointing year. I mean, we've had years where they came out with like 5 or 6, you know. So yeah, of course I'm going to be upset that if Xbox only comes out with 3 exclusives. Will I say that it's Will I give it a D? Probably not. I'll probably give it a C plus or something like that because I think they did a heck of a job trying to do whatever they were doing that year. We don't know yet because we're not there yet, but I think in the long run, that's what Xbox needs to focus on. They need to focus on getting games out, and I know they're thinking of buying more studios. Stop, just stop. Just deal with what you got now. With Activision, when Activision gets under your wing and everything like that, stop. You don't have to stop completely. Just stop for a little while. Get your bearings. Get all these games out, and then start focusing on doing that again. That's my whole thing. I think once these games start coming out, But if they can focus on all three, both of those things, kudos. But right now, they're really only focusing on getting publishers and developers to come to their to be owned by them, and they're really not focusing on getting these games out. At this moment. Next year will be a different story, of course, probably. Don't know yet because we're not there yet. But right now, that's what I see is that's their focus.
All right, brother.
I'm not the only one that's not as upset about games being delayed. For so many years, we've been, believe it or not.
I'm not upset about games
No,
being
no, no, no,
delayed.
no, 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 no. It's not that. It's not that. But for so many years, not too long ago, we've been complaining about too many games. Too many games. I ain't got time to play them all. I got time to play them all. I'm enjoying the rest period.
Well,
I'm sorry, maybe I might be the only one, but I'm enjoying the rest period for great games.
Sir X-Men.
I think the thing is though, dude, is that the fact that you go through a whole year without a AAA exclusive, quote unquote banger in your your roster. I think that's where people have the issue is that
they need those industry
wasn't
moving
anything.
moments.
Right,
I mean,
industry moving moment. Exactly.
See, and I
I
feel like,
understand where you're coming from. Maybe I'm just getting old.
well, Sir X-Man, I feel like even with the delays that happen with Xbox, where we are in gaming, I almost feel like there are way too many games coming out, to be honest with you, because first party got delayed and stuff, but there are so many games that didn't go into Game Pass that I want to play, but I'm not throwing down the money on it right now. Although the beginning of Black Friday deals, digital deals, did start today on Xbox. And
I will say that Xbox did that really well, but PlayStation still has not done their Black Friday sale yet.
Is golf on sale?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, golf is on sale. Yeah,
really?
I think
How
it's
much?
it's only the Xbox One version though.
No, it's
I don't
it's
think
Did Steam
is it
do
the
theirs
Series
yet?
X too?
Yeah, it's the Series X version. It's the $70 version. I think it's on sale for like I
40,
want to say
probably.
like $38.99, so around $40 right now.
Oh
that's
yeah, I'm
pretty
getting
good.
ready to go pick this shit up.
Yeah, see, PlayStation hasn't even
Because
done theirs yet.
I knew it was too close to Black Friday, and my money ain't working right, so I figured this is perfect. I just wait a little bit,
Nice.
and I catch it on a
Nice,
sale.
but like every time,
Yeah, I was hoping that Plague Tale would be on sale, but
it's like
I don't think that's
every
going to
time
go
I
on
turn
sale.
around, there's another new game coming out, and then the day after, another new game coming out, and then like the
You feel what I'm saying, don't you?
Well, that's because we're in wintertime, right? That's when games start coming out. If you
Even
look
February was
throughout the
pretty
whole
heavy. Maybe
year,
not for Xbox. But.
yeah, I mean February was pretty heavy for PlayStation, but not so much in the
But you got to
Xbox
remember
realm.
how many of
But
us got so many games in our backlog that we haven't had a chance to get to. I mean, everybody forget there's so many games in the backlog, man. It's ridiculous.
There was a little lull time in the summer where I was enjoying the fact that I could play some of the older games I've been meaning to do.
Didn't it feel good finally?
It does. There is a part of that feels good. So it's not like I don't have anything to play. It's not like there's always going to be stuff out there.
You got a shitload. You got extra consoles.
But everybody,
I also have a Switch, so that kind of that summer drought.
A what?
That's
What'd you say?
a Switch,
What?
a Nintendo Switch. that Nintendo has been really good at kind of
You bought the
taking their
cardboard,
games and putting them in the summer months.
Yeah, he
They've
bought
been
the
really good
cardboard.
at that lately. They put Xenoblade Chronicles 3. They put
I got picked up. Live Alive was the last one I picked up.
Yeah, Live Alive. They just did a lot of that this year and last year. So
You're
You know,
playing Splatoon. I know you are.
there is a lot of games out there right now. Yeah, you're right. There is a lot of games out there right now, but I think there's a lot of stuff that people are like, I can wait, or I don't really care, kind of things. And
Yeah, like right
I
now,
don't think
I
I
love
don't think
golf.
I don't think
Gotham
Xbox.
Knights is already on sale.
I don't think
Really now?
Yeah, Gotham Knights is on sale. Xbox can't afford to kind of keep doing that where they're not putting out really good, games. They
They
have to.
actually
They
are
have
now
to.
with
I agree.
Xbox sales being up right now.
I
You
think
can
that
get
is one
games
of
if you
their
want it.
places they have improved is the quality has come up. Before they were doing
It
lots
has.
of 50s
Yeah.
and 60s. Now they're in
Yeah.
the 80s, in the
Yeah.
90s.
Their
So it's
quality
good
has
to
come
see
up.
that.
Yeah.
Hold on, we're talking numbers. Are we talking meta who? Is that what's going on right now?
Metahu.
Hey, we can all pretend it doesn't matter for fanboy nonsense, but like it literally does. It's an industry
It does
rumor.
matter.
It does matter.
It
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 actually
does.
does
I think
matter.
it's a corrupt system
I
anyway.
usually look at the reviews
Yo,
by the
real
people.
quick.
You know,
Just a
what
good
the people.
guidepost. It's just on how you use
Yo,
it.
first off, I want to shout out Noof Nukem. Yo, Noof, it is good to see you in the chat, bro. I do want to shout out a moderator legend, Boss Mod Lethal Papa is in the chat and talking it up. Now, Papa,
Why haven't you made him a
Papa,
moderator yet?
you calm down with yourself. Papa, I know you said that you kind of like stalk in the background. So it's good to see you in the chat. Now, with Noof, he stated which games are carrying the industry right now outside of free to play. He said Nintendo first party and Sony. Now, Noof, you can't take free to play out of that because free to play right now is
Yeah,
a
you
huge
can't.
foundation that is carrying gaming right now. Like,
I mean,
It's
shoot,
evolving gaming.
it's making Overwatch be more popular than what it was
Dark. I
before
gotta say,
Nah,
fuck
because of that.
Fortnite
You know
got
why?
Fortnite grew when they got rid of the building aspect. It
What are you
came
saying?
back.
Don't get it
Fortnite
twisted.
grew.
These
Before you
companies
get
do that
interrupted by
all the
this
Yeah,
time.
old fuck.
Dark. I gotta say, fuck Overwatch. and it's not from the gameplay standpoint. The game plays solid. I love the mechanics, all that good stuff.
Uh-huh.
What
Uh-huh.
I am pissed off about with Overwatch is there is no sense of reward. Everything is like basically just microtransaction.
Well, that's because you go. Have you played unranked or are you playing in ranked?
I play unranked mostly.
Yeah, once you get to ranked, dude,
But ranked, there's a whole
there's
different series
that.
and stuff, and it's not.
Viper told me to
I
tell
I
you
do I do
you
agree
missed
with
the
you on
message
that.
sectioned off. Like the
Xbox.
ranked stuff, the stuff that you can earn through ranked is sectioned off. It's totally separate.
I told him
And
Yeah.
you can't use those points for like anything you want. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be in.
Yeah,
that
yeah, I see what you're saying. I get it. Yeah, I understand that. I just look at it as now that it's free to play, it garners more people to come and play it because people are like, oh, it's free. I don't have to pay for it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go play it. So yeah, you can't really rule out free to play because a lot of
Thank you,
people
Yobi.
will play it.
And dude, when
Right
it comes
now,
down
what's
to it,
what's really driving PlayStation and Nintendo is their the games that are driving it is of course for PlayStation it's exclusives, and for Nintendo it's Japanese.
Nintendo.
It's
It's
Nintendo.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
would argue.
Nintendo
I would actually
exclusive.
argue
Yeah.
that like Sony's exclusives are not driving that platform right now. Like everybody's
Not yeah,
hyped-
right at this
everybody's
moment.
hyped
No,
when it comes to
They're
Ragnarok.
sustaining it.
Everybody's hyped when it comes
it
to
is
Ragnarok.
sustaining it. Yeah.
But when you look at Horizon Forbidden West and how that got overshadowed by a multi-plat named Elden Ring,
Elden Ring.
you look
Yeah.
at Gran Turismo 7, and you have your diehard racers that are on PlayStation that pick up
Mhm.
that game, but I didn't see it kind of go above and beyond in getting new gamers and
No,
stuff like that into it
didn't.
as well. So I mean, Call
Well,
of
I think
Duty
that also happened
and
with
free to
Horizon
play
Forbidden
are
West
maintaining
and
PlayStation as well. Like, I mean, it is what it is.
Didn't
Yeah.
Warzone 2 come out this week?
it did. Yeah.
It did. But let me ask you something. If the worst thing you can say about a game is that another popular game came out a few weeks later, like is that really shitting on Horizon Forbidden West? Like that's the worst people can come up with? Is this other big game came out 3 weeks later? So what? Like that's the only thing you can come up with. Like that game was amazing. I'm sorry.
That's the thing. A lot of people, even after they played Elden Ring, they went back and they played Horizon Forbidden West and loved it.
Exactly.
So,
That whole month was just you couldn't. It was hard to manage that entire month.
Yeah,
and it looks like next February is going to be the same for everybody.
Exactly.
And
So
it
it's like
actually was
it's
a
kind of
good
crazy.
thing for Horizon DOS because it got them a chance to get some updates to fix some of the problems that came from launch.
From
that
the
was a good
launch,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a bad thing. Are you gonna get Viper's member chat or what, bot?
Well, you guys were in the middle of talking, and my son
He
just came
keeps
home.
bugging me.
Why does he keep bugging
No,
you?
you were talking more, my friend.
Well, we
You
were
were talking
having a
more, my friend.
conversation.
He just didn't want another K Mega
having a
situation. That's what
I
it
know,
was.
right?
So
he was afraid that he was going to lose another panel match. He didn't want that. So.
hold on, I'm looking for it. I did have it up, but unfortunately, YouTube is being an ass when it comes to viewer activity.
Yeah, you want me to read it? I have it right here.
Sir.
I'm in.
So RG Viper member for 13 months.
Shout out
Thank
to
you
you.
for that,
Little over
sir.
a year, bro. Good shit.
Yeah, a little over a year, man. That's awesome. We have to admit that Xbox 2022 is just as bad as 2017, 2018, and 2019. First party is an F. A Game Pass is a B. 2023 needs to be A plus on both ends.
You know, when you take the F for first party, you take the B for Game Pass. You can also take
you get a D, right?
You can also take the quality of third party that dropped. You can also take into account that when it comes to third party, when it comes to consoles, Xbox has definitely been outperforming any other consoles on the market in terms of performance when it comes to third party. So you put it all together, I think it'll bring you to around a C as well, maybe C minus. You know, I'm not, the plus minus in that area. So I don't think we're too far off, man. I really don't.
I mean, yeah, it's just, yeah, I think he, where he's coming from, I get it, but
Is that a
yeah.
geo tracker that just
I do
rolled
think
over?
next year is heavily weighted. I think people are getting real tired of the same old song and dance. You know what I mean? Like we already saw recently, lost her job immediately. Like they masked it to something else, but you can't tell me they didn't get her out of there immediately.
Yeah, if
Like they're trying.
They
No,
I
go
think
if Xbox has the same delays that it did this year, there's gonna be a lot of problems.
heads are going to roll. People are going to start losing their jobs. I think next year is the finally that. Like so, I have a feeling they're going to be pushing hard, and I hope to see good things at Xbox.
I actually I got to agree with you with the whole heads rolling thing, and I would say I would even go as far as to say that Satya will start putting out paperwork that trickles down that like takes people's jobs because Microsoft is all in on gaming for the first time. Like the corporation is all in. Xbox used to be kind of like the black sheep of that corporation. Yeah, they're doing it, and they have a certain amount of money, but it was never really taken seriously.
It was kind of the, it's cool, but whatever.
It was
Well,
like
Microsoft
the trendy,
really
it was
needs
a trendy division within the corporation, but now with Satya there and his dealings with Phil and kind of going all in on gaming, realizing, the possible revenue and stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's a corporation; they're about making money. All right. When Phil proposed a way in which they could really benefit revenue wise with Game Pass and Xbox and stuff like that. Now you have the backing of the corporation, but they're not gonna take like another year. You know what I'm saying? Like people will be looking for a new job when it comes down to it. It's not like that they would do anything to the Xbox platform as a division of Microsoft, but there would be a lot of people looking for a new job. I definitely agree with that.
This is what Microsoft needs to do. They need to do a Sony. Even if your games are not going to be ready for a year or two, the other ones, you need to show a Perfect Dark, something. You need to show an Indiana Jones. You need to show more than a Senua Saga thing. You
No,
need to
that needs to
show.
come out.
You need to. Because I know everybody wants to play it, but I'm just saying.
That game needs to come out.
You
You
need
cannot
to
show
show.
that again.
You need to show some Fable. You need to show something. Even if it's a year off in 2024, you need to do like Sony does and give people a reason to stay on your platform.
It's almost time for you can say that about Sony now because I'm a
It
huge
is, yeah.
Sony guy, and I tell you what, they've been silent, almost too silent. Like what's
Mhm.
actually happening on the Sony side after the God of War is good release now? So what's that? We really don't know what's next for PlayStation.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We don't.
Wow,
all we
even
know is there's
Nukem
10
agrees with. I'm
live service
sorry.
games in the works, and that worries me a little bit. But
Even my buddy Noof agrees with me right there.
Kaboo! I need that in the soundboard.
It
Just for him.
you need to start. I'm not trying to say it's Sony tricks or nothing, but you need to advertise it like Sony does a few years down the line. You need to know what, like I said, what is expected of you in the future. And keep your promises for 2023.
Sony does need to do that as well, though. Now,
yeah, they
because
do.
they
They're
haven't
at that
been
point.
doing it this year. Yeah,
Oh,
they're
I'm
at
sure
that.
they'll show some Wolverine and some Spider-Man 2 play at the Game Award. But if Microsoft don't show anything but the same old thing they've been showing for the past few awards, it's going to be a very disappointing for them
I
at the
don't know
Game
why
Award.
anybody would think that we're gonna see Wolverine at the Game Awards. So you know how early
Sony
you know,
is
like,
known for
Maybe
showing
maybe Spider-Man if you're lucky.
Probably more than likely
That's as
we'll
far
see
as I would take that.
Spider-Man over.
But I can see
over
Sony showing some more of finally some Wolverine play because it wasn't announced until last
you
year.
would get another
I-
CGI, bro. I can almost guarantee that.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna see that.
You know,
You'll
a
see
CGI
you'll
is
see
better than
Wolverine
nothing.
ain't coming out until like
Probably.
2025, bro.
They're not going to want to step on Spider-Man. Like you can't just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They're not going to want.
Yeah.
I think Spider-Man comes first.
Yeah, but you're right though. But if Spider-Man is there, and then Wolverine has a much later date, you know what I'm saying? I can see Sony doing it. They're known for showing games that are years out. Microsoft isn't. They tried it, but they didn't continue it. They give you little snippets, but they don't keep going at either E3 or the award show or either advertising. They stop right then and there.
Well, they
The
got
minute
punished,
they show.
with that whole thing that happened with Platinum Games, and they kind of got punished going the other direction. So I don't think Phil likes to do that.
Yeah, but these are his studios now. It ain't a studio that's out there. This is one of his studios. So you should know what your studio has prepared and what you don't have prepared. If you're not, that means you're not keeping up with what's going on in your business. And you need to keep track of it better. And you need to go to them and tell them what you got. I need to show something. I need to show something. Everybody else has seen the other stuff we're supposed to be having in 23. I want to know what you got coming in 24. Give us something.
Well, that's the same thing with Sony. Like that's the same thing with PlayStation. Like if they have one or two games only next year, that's not enough. That's not enough. It's not.
Sony, that's kind of normal. And then Sony's known
No,
to
it's
hit
not.
you with
No, it's not
but
because you know what?
Sony's known to
They've
hit
come
you
out
with
with
surprises though.
no
Microsoft
because
doesn't hit you with surprises.
I mean, well, that's the thing. I mean, we do know that Forspoken is coming out. We do know that Final Fantasy 16, but those aren't first party, so they don't really count in a way because they're not first party. But their first party. If there's only one or two of those games that are coming out next year, that's not enough. That's not good enough. They need to fucking keep. They need to pump out more. Like they need to.
With PlayStation, though,
Not
they
in terms
don't
of like
have as many
every single month, but
so when it comes down to it, like the well
Yeah.
will get dry at some point. You know what I'm saying? I don't think so.
I don't think
I don't think
so.
first party.
Because Insomniac can push out games like no other, man.
Let's be real. Insomniac pushed out like Miles Morales and stuff because at its core, it was Spider-Man PS4. All right, and they added
Yeah.
on top of that with Miles Morales, his extra abilities and stuff. But at its core, the structure of the game was already made, bro. So it's not going to take
All right,
take them long to do that. So
go ahead.
unless all their games are built off the structure of Spider-Man PS4, the other games, like, I hope Wolverine does take a while. You know what I'm saying? That they don't build it off like a Spider-Man game or something like that, and they go in and they make it
Right.
No,
really
it won't be
unique.
built off a
You know what I'm
Spider-Man
saying?
game.
They better not build it off of Spider-Man because they're completely different characters.
Here's my thing. You got that beautiful Horizon Zero Dawn engine from Guerrilla Games. Why can't Guerrilla Games make another Killzone with that graphical type? You know, why can't they do that? Let them make another,
Like,
make
reboot
that
the
game
franchise,
back.
man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They're
reboot the
rumored to be
franchise with
working
that
on
new
something.
engine.
I don't know what it is. But
They are
They're-
rumored to be working on a multiplayer type of game, so I'm sure it's
But you need to
probably
go with
somewhere on
some
this
people
line.
think SOCOM
That's
maybe, but
Horizon Forbidden West,
Yeah.
massive multiplayer.
yeah,
You
yeah,
think that?
please no.
I'm not playing. I'm not playing.
With the regular Horizon
I'm not
in
playing.
the VR, that's all we don't. They're getting dangerously close to oversaturating. It
I mean,
already.
if they make an MMO for Horizon, I mean that'll definitely draw people in. I think, but
But they're in
it's
the
got to
same
be
boat as
good.
Microsoft. You got all this beautiful IP that people want, and you don't give them what they want.
Yeah.
You don't. All you do is you're rehashing old stuff and remastering it, but you're not. This is a totally new generation. You need to bring Microsoft too. Bring some of those games that were famous back then, and put them with the new graphical power. Revamp them. There's so many games. It doesn't make sense to me.
Like bring back
All
Xenogears
right. Check this
or
out, guys.
bring back.
Infamous.
I absolutely,
Yeah,
I absolutely
Infamous.
love the conversation, but this conversation
Here we go.
started with grading Xbox, and somehow we're going into this whole PlayStation.
Oh, we
thing.
finished that. You went to dark
We got
already.
we got
It was
this
over.
whole
Yeah.
PlayStation thing going, and guys, I gotta let you know,
It's not
Well,
just
I gotta bring in
We're
PlayStation. You
talking
need to have
about
any
both
PlayStation
systems.
topics. Bot,
We
what's
were
your
talking
fault?
about both
I
systems.
gotta work tomorrow morning, man. So, like, when it comes down to it, like, we got.
Aw.
Oh, it's okay for you to
We gotta
carry
start.
on.
We gotta start winding this down, dude. I am the moderator. I can
know.
carry on if I want
I
to.
know.
right?
I know. Get it out your
Just for
system.
that, you know what? You're gonna get the clown song. That's it.
I love you too.
Bot really does treat us like peasants, doesn't he? He treats us like we're peasants and he's the king. Like, what
I
the
know,
fuck?
right?
He's king neutral. What do you mean?
It's always the short guy, bro.
Yeah, I know. Napoleon type. That's what he's like.
And okay.
Dude, you can't even get on rides at the fair at the amusement park. I don't know what you're doing.
See, now we're getting into something totally crazy. Yo, guys.
No, they hear you coming and they think you're like 5'2".
Yo, what was it? I think it was Albert tried to say if I'm 5'10" and he's 7 foot, I don't understand why I can't be 5'10".
I believe
I don't
it.
understand why.
I don't think you're 5'10", dude. Because your voice doesn't match your fucking height, dude. That's why.
I'm 5'10" and I'm over two
You
wheels, bro.
You do sound like you're about 16 years old sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's good. You want me to change my voice real quick?
And
No.
I guess maybe that'll be a little bit better for you.
Now you sound like Chris.
Now it's only vlogs. I swear this is a vlog to Rowie. Voice math, right now.
That's a good time to say gears.
All I do is gears.
I think you've said it more than me today.
For real,
Right?
especially with that last little bit. But
Yo, on the real, guys, it has been an absolute blast. So much fun with tonight's show. Yo, so much fun with the chat. You guys are absolutely incredible. Love seeing the conversation going on. And of course, there were disagreements. People said this was better, that was better, or whatnot. But to see everybody interacting with each other and having a good time, man, really, really makes the show worth it. Shout out to the panel as well. And it's what we do here. It's tradition. like a 40-year-old with a comb over. It is time to get those plugs in, and I'm wondering what people are laughing about.
I'm laughing about Noof's comment where he goes, "I'm 5'11" in height and width."
That is so new.
Shout out to you. Yo, we gotta get you on here again, bro. We gotta get you on here again. I swear. But
It's a good one.
like I said, the 4-year-old would come over. It's time to get those plugs in, and I'm gonna start with the guest tonight. GG Gamers Gamut, man. It is always good to have you in here talking games, man. Whenever you're back on Xbox, you see me on. We definitely got a party up. You never know. We might start playing a game together, like we were doing with Halo a while back. But why don't you let people know, about your YouTube channel? Let people know where they can get a hold of you to talk games, get your opinions, stuff like that. You know the drill already, bro.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you can find me at Gamers Gamut on YouTube. You can also find me on Twitter, Gamers Gamut YT. And yeah, I'm down for some. I haven't tried season 3 of Halo yet because they were having some server issues on day 1, so been a little busy with Ragnarok. But I am down to run some season 3 with you, brother.
Nice. I am down, and I have tried it already. I can't wait. I will be making leveled multiplayer, like team deathmatch maps in Forge. That's what I do. So
Yes.
I'm gonna be doing that. It's gonna get interesting, bro. It's gonna get interesting, and yeah,
it's good. It's good to see the community aspect of Halo finally show up, and I think that's what a lot of people are waiting for.
nice, brother. Let's go.
Thank you for having me on.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Like I said, you are a part of the family. You're an extended part of the family. Whenever you see that shit is popping and you got something to say, just gotta let me know, man, and you'll be here with us. You do got to put up, sometimes with Darkonomus, but other than that,
I'll just jump in like
you notice that I don't even let him know, and he still lets me in here. Funny.
I need somebody to play.
There's levels to this
somebody
game.
to play the clown music for, so now I know who that is actually for.
Oh man.
But nah, man, it was a lot of fun, and thank you for joining us. And you definitely you got to get on again, bro. You got to be here again. This is what it is. I learned from Mooch. So you've been on once, you've been on twice. Like you're coming on again, okay? Just to let you know.
Sounds good, brother. You
nice,
hit me up.
Nice, man. And let's go to the OG, the man who did all the motion for the Pitfall main character on the Atari.
Go.
Of course, it is.
I really liked him in
It
Pitfall.
is Sir X-Man. Sir X-Man, what is going on with you, man? What is going on with your Twitch channel?
Especially when you film.
I have a song for you, my friend. This is just for you, Xbox. You tickle me. You tickle me. You make X-Man loves you just as I can be, but you tickle me. Hello.
Wow, I think I might timestamp that song so this way everybody knows to go to Sir X-Man song to Xbox.
Well, that's because you just as short as as Elmo, so that's why I sung it. But
wow.
He does sound like Elmo, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That was a long setup, but the delivery was worth it, man. I will say the delivery was worth it, bro. What do you got going on, man? What's good? What do you want to tell the people?
Nothing. I'm still playing. I played a little Halo multi campaign with my friends last weekend. Had a blast. I'm still trying to get to the storyline on Star Trek Online. Man, it's fucking amazing. And I'm gonna try that vampire game. I've got to download it eventually, but I will be getting golf. Tomorrow.
Yes.
Since it's on sale.
I will let you know. Putting is.
Oh, whatever. I don't care what you're doing with golf
difficult.
right now.
It's more like real life, man.
It's no big deal. It's putting. I've played a lot of difficult golf games where the putting is brutal. I've been playing golf before you were born, dude, in video games.
I'm gonna have to fact check you on that one, bro. But dude, I can't wait to get.
You can't back check. You can't back check to the Genesis, dude. You wasn't playing golf back then.
No, I wasn't playing golf, but I was alive. You said before I was born. My brother had a Genesis.
Okay,
So
before you had your mental capabilities. Wait a minute, I'm still trying to figure out if you have that right now. Oh no,
oh no.
I had mental
that's-
capabilities
listen,
back then. He definitely had mental capabilities back then. And I'm younger than Bot, so
Nah. When I start streaming again, it's Sir X Man 1 on Twitch. Sir X Man on Twitter. I don't hardly do Twitter anymore because of the Elon Musk bull crap. I don't want to get caught up in the drama. And and that's pretty much it. Oh, and Sir X Man on Steam if you want to play a game with me sometime over there. PC Master Race.
That was for the PC Master Race, by the way.
Oh,
Yo,
no.
Crispy, my brother, Crispy,
Yo.
man. Great show tonight, as usual, man. You are on multiple shows. You know the drill. You gotta let people know where you go live, what shows, all that good stuff, where they can go to talk games with you, and anything else you want to share, man.
Yeah. You guys know where I'm usually at. At Christy Bomb on Twitter, Christy Bomb 28 Xbox Live, and we will absolutely see what goes on next week because I'm about to lift like 1,000,000 pounds of turkeys. So I don't know how much I'm going to be up for anything. So screw turkey. But you guys can have a happy turkey day if I don't see you. Other than that, follow me on Twitter and you'll see if I'm going to hop on any of my normal spots. Definitely won't be back here though. Not next week. Are you doing a show?
Why they got
Nah, I ain't doing
on
this.
Thursday, man? That's not right.
It's always got to be on a Thursday. So, I mean, unless you want a bunch of food coma people on your podcast,
Dude,
like,
it'd just be a bunch of snoring because everybody would be sleeping after.
Bro, I would get especially drunk just for that occasion.
That's what I'm about to say. By the time his show starts, everybody gonna be getting their buzz on.
Wow.
That's a fact.
Everybody half asleep. Oh, I have my nap. Let me get a drink.
I wouldn't be asleep. I'm good.
All right. Well, let's see. Next on the list, we got the Angry Otter himself, Mr. Dark Optimus. I don't know. This button says danger. I'm gonna click it. Oh, that should have been longer. That should have been longer, man. I don't know.
That's what she said.
Wow. Never for me. I just slammed the door on you, bro. Yeah.
That's what she did.
But yo, Dark man, as usual, man, whenever you jump in here, I always have a lot of fun. You know, you are a part of the family. It is good to have you come in. And I know you were just, you know, you just wanted to get in here and do some Xbox hate. But we welcome you, man. We welcome you, man. What do you got? What do you got for the audience in terms of what's going on with Dark Optimus, bro?
I just think it's funny when people think I hate Xbox. It's hilarious. Yeah, man. I've really been playing God of War. No, I'm gonna wait until you're done.
Go ahead.
That is
so
horrible.
God of War Ragnarok I've been playing. If you wanna play some multiplayer, hit me up on COD or Overwatch 2. I'll be playing those too. And as always, you guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Optimus. You can also find me on PlayStation and Xbox at the same name. And as always, Bot, man, it was a fun time. You know, you know what, dude? Every time I get on this podcast, something happens, right? And today was let's just say it was a doozy. All right, it was a doozy. People got mad. You know, Crispy got drunk. As always, you know.
Crispy got drunk today.
Started slurring his words.
I am not. I am actually not drunk.
I know. I'm just kidding.
So it's all right.
I know. We didn't hear Drunk Crispy. Drunk Crispy.
Oh, I
that's why
haven't
we
left
didn't
in a
hear
long
gear.
time. By the way, it's been
That's
a
why
while.
I
we
give you
didn't hear
props.
no
You are
gear.
absolutely right,
Drunk Crispy.
You let him know. You let him know. It's been a while.
John Crispy is great because he'll just leave without even saying bye or anything. He'll just be like, "Fuck you guys, I'm out."
Dude, sometimes I actually lose internet because there's like freaking 30 devices on, but
Wow, I just thought about Dark's internet's working pretty good today. Holy
actually, I think you botted more than him. Actually,
You got new duct tape for it.
I think Xbot botted quite a bit today. So just so you know.
Xbox is got that soundboard.
It's what I do,
thing,
bro.
So
It's what I do. I mean, it's my name.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just trying to get my mouse to work here real quick. There we go. Again, shout out to the chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. If you are new to this channel, definitely hit the subscribe button. We are here every Thursday, 8 p.m., which of course Crispy is
prime
That's
time.
right. And huge shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Now, next Thursday is Turkey Day. So we won't be live on Thursday, but I might do something in the vicinity. I might go live somewhere around there, whether it's Friday, Saturday, something like that. I have all those days.
You guys gotta realize that this guy only celebrates pagan holidays.
No pagan
so
holidays. That's why I do Thanksgiving.
Turkey sandwiches and ham sandwiches for the rest of the week, everybody. Let's go.
Ham, by the way, shout out to you guys. I hope you have a great Turkey Day, and we will see you soon. Usually it's next week, but we will see you soon after Thanksgiving on the next podcast. Have a great night, everybody.
Peace. Leaders. West Coast sucks.
Smoke in the air, pure gasoline. I see the news, see what you read. Change gotta come, put that on me and watch me educate. Yeah, we been could've started, but it's never late. Do it for my kids, yeah, let's set it straight. Do it for your kids, gotta set it straight. It's time to regulate. We need change now. We need solar, we need EV in the game now. Make it change so the earth we know can stay around.